Okay. All of my lives, that's the first time they've all started at like the exact same time. That is excellent timing. I cannot ask for anything better than that. But today, I hit 2300 blitz. I was really excited. That's a really high number for blitz, I feel like. 2300. Like, I had to work for it too. My bullet, though, I've traded a soul for a soul. If you watch Full Metal Brother FMBA, if FMAB, a law of equivalent exchange, my bullet has suffered, but I will simply take this win and say that I did do excellent in Blitz. And I'll get the bullet back up. I want to get them both at 2300 at the same time. That would be like the biggest thing ever for me. I'd be really happy if I could do that. So tomorrow, I think I'll play Bullet for hours until I can hopefully hit that goal. Turn. We don't have it today, not today. So, but I've switched up the. I don't know if you've been here since I switched it up. The way I do it, I think maybe once, but I have it every third day now. So I have puzzles. Like today is puzzles, and then yesterday I have the tournaments, and then tomorrow I have rated play online. But yeah, yesterday we had them for a decent amount. It was fun, but I'm trying to do them longer too. So if you're here for the next one, I hope we can get some games in. I will say I'm confused. Oh, this is yeah here. I've been trying to have longer streams since I have a little more energy with not being in school. But the King's Line's here to A2. Queen here, check. Mate. Alright, we have the black pieces. You're going to win the queen, and then they're too far away to stop this. Man, 2000. Bro, you could do. No, you say you don't study at all, right? I don't. I learned a new opening today. I learned a new opening, so I've been doing a little studying. I learned the. Can you play the English opening? Here, over, up. Yeah, they're too far. Man, I hit 2300. I'm having a good day, man. I hit 2300 blitz. The studying has been paying off. I don't even know if I study. I feel like what I'm doing is not studying. I just do puzzles and play games. I feel like that's not what you're supposed to do. But that's all I know how to do. I don't have any guide, any guidance. But checkmate here. The queen's here. Man, low key it's probably knight in. Yeah, because you take the queen. All right, 18. I'm feeling. We're getting the record today. We're getting my personal record. What's going on, Southern? I have some stuff to do background noise. Hey, I'll take it. I'll take it. Thank you for choosing me as the background noise. But the knight is here on h7. I think you can take this because the queen is free there. Perfect. All right, this next one, I think I have checkmate on c8. And we're starting off with the first 22. All right, their king is here on g6. I think we can go queen here, and then rook to d7 following. How do people get to 2000? I think that PJ likes their just the emoji for the face. I don't see a username, but thank you for the likes. But yeah, 2000. I don't think it's that. I think it's doable for most people. Like I don't think it's that impossible. Like some levels beyond that. But I'd say the main thing of 2000, it's a lot of tactical things. It is not making mistakes. I'll say, like if you don't, it's easier to say than not. But if you don't, the less blunders around 18 and 1900 is probably can win a decent amount. Like, there's some definitely calculation, but I'd say that's the biggest thing. For when I was 1800 to like 2000, I just made less mistakes, less unforced errors. I think you can go down here. I'm not sure how it's checkmate, but the other, yeah, the queen here. I'll do this next one. And then Tech ND, appreciate a lot of donations there. A lot of roses there on TikTok. Thank you very much for that. I think it says 14 roses. And we hit the goal. Let me make a new goal. We already hit that. And then appreciate the likes there from Uncle Joe and the follow from Uncle Joe there. Let me set up a new goal here. What? I don't know. I don't know how to do it here actually. How do I add a goal? Okay. I don't know. I think I set it up. Usually I do it on my phone, but I'm trying to use my computer. Can you see it? It doesn't matter. All right, let's go to this next one. I can do it on my phone. The bishop is here on b8. I think it's knight here, and then here for checkmate because the bishop is gone. Let me just do it here. But yeah, we're able to get down. We're at the first 24. For those who are not familiar, Oh, that's really interesting. How many? Those are 10. Okay. This is what TikTok said to make the goal. But yeah, we're at 24. My record is 62, so we're a little ways away from that. A little ways away. But yeah, their queen is there on c3. I believe you can go queen. Oh, you can take the rook, right? Because the pawn is guarding the king, and then rook to a8 checkmate. We have the first 25. Here, opposition, and then you oppose them all the way down, and you go down to promote. This is you take the queen, and you take here check, and then you take the knight at the end. All right, this one's also a mate. We have the first 28. So even go 30 for 30 to start off. I think I will with rook here. Yeah. Push, push, push. They have their rook sliding over in this one. I believe you take this check, knight takes, and then king f7, because then their rook is stuck here on e6. So take here check, king f7, and you take here on e whatever that is. They go bishop here to f5. What is the move? You could take here. Appreciate the new sub there on YouTube. Thank you for the support. Now you can take here on f7 check. And then I think what you have is a bishop sliding in there at some point. I don't know the exact move order, so now you would do it. Because they go back, you have to rook check first, but now you can give this check. And now you bring the rook down here for checkmate. Alright, the king's going to slide forward. You know it's probably a mate in something because the king is so in the center. It's so open, so easy to attack. I think it's bishop f4. Because you go here, the knight, only move they can do is knight takes. The king can't move, so the knight has to take. The thing is, because it's not stopping them from moving anywhere now. If you have control of the file, which rook e1 would permit you, they can't go up. Yeah, I think it's here, and then rook e1, and you take this for checkmate. We have the first 32. They go up here to f4. I think, yeah, it's just rook h2. You go here, check, and then queen here to g2 is checkmate. All right, we have 33. The knight is here on g6. What is the next puzzle? Oh, you sack the queen again. A lot of queen sacks to start off this stream, but queen captures h7 is all you have to do. And then rook here to h5 is checkmate. All right, the bishop takes here on f2. And then g4 is checkmate. The rook sliding down allows pawn to g5, but you get this checkmate here as the king is sandwiched. They move their king here to h5. Again, you know there's a mate because they have these two passers. So how do we make it mate? This is a little more complex than you would think. Because if you go here, the queen's going on MWE. But yeah, they could go here to g5 if you go queen to e5. Forcing the queen trade. So you know you can't do it that way. I wonder if it's queen check, and then they go over it, and then you go h4. That's probably what it is. Yeah, check, and then h4. I'll show that real quick. It was a mate in 3, I believe. Check. The king. Is this mate in 1? Oh, this is mate in 1. Oh, never mind, never mind. I don't know why I thought they could go. Oh, what was I looking at? But yeah, here and then h4. All right, let's go to this next one. We are sitting at the first 36. All right, the knight is here on c6. Queen is under attack. And I appreciate the likes I think I just saw. Tonight, I'm not doing them tonight. I had them yesterday. I'll have them in 2 streams from now. Yeah, their knight is there on c6. Where can we go? So what I'm looking at is it has to be a queen move. So we could go queen here, queen here, queen here. You can't go here or here, right? So between here, here, and here, what's the best? So queen c8. No, you could do that. I mean, it's probably here because you don't. They could just go back. This is a double attack. Let's say they go queen here to d5. Where would you go after that? Could you go bishop? I don't see it, but it has to be this because you have to move the queen, and going to one of these 2 squares doesn't work. So over queen slides in. And then what could you do? If you move your bishop back, they can move the knight. Okay, queen over. They go Knight back. Now I see. I want to see what to do if they went queen to d5. I'm not sure. But this you take with check, and then you take here on c6. Let's see what the difference is. Not today, Eli. Not today. I'll have those in 2 streams. So next stream will be the rated play, and then I'll have it after that. But if the queen goes here to d5, it is bishop e6. What about here? Oh, and then bishop d7. Okay, I saw bishop e6, but bishop d7, I did miss. All right, let's go to this next one. We're sitting at, what is this, 37, correct? Let's see if we can get to 40. Their bishop here is on f4. There's a fork idea, but there should be a mate, I feel like, because the king can't go over. Bishop e4 should be mate. Yeah, if they push, that's the thing, because you could go for this, but your queen's hanging. You go bishop e4 check, they slide over, or they can't do anything. They can only push here, and then that should be checkmate. Yes, and that's mate. We have the first 38. The king is here on f3. We could force the queen trade. Yeah, I think that's all you have to do. Opposition, and now you're going to get the queen there at the end. All right, I have 39. The queen is on c3, and I appreciate the likes there. The username is not popping up, but I do see them. I don't know why it's not popping up, but thank you for the support. We could go queen to e6, I think is the best move. And oh, Liber, appreciate the likes. Yeah, queen e6, you attack the king. It forces the king to slide to h7. Or they could also go, I don't see this one. They could also go h8, but that's the only check. So that's why I think it's the first move. It's the only check, going queen to here to e6. Now the king can go to either of these 2 squares. You would have queen back, but then they could just take it. I would assume it's here, and then you go like here, because check over wouldn't be an issue. Let's see. Check. Now rook f3, attacking the queen. Queen e1, and after king h2, they can't even, they can't check you again. Here they just have to take it. I'll show that real quick. They just can't check a second time, right? That's the problem. If they go here to e1, this is the first move. After king h2, if they go here, you have rook here. And now because the king's had to go over to h8, it's an open file, you'll win that. What's up, twin, little bro? I'll take the, we go bro. But what's going on, man? How you doing today? And I appreciate the likes as well. We're closing in on 450 there, it looks like. But we have the first 40 on the first run right now, so feeling good so far. The knight is on d2. What can we do to try and get some material? So if the knight takes on d2, queen takes. If knight takes on c3, and then Uncle Joe, appreciate the like job application. What you gonna be doing? Yeah, the knight. I'm trying to figure out the best way around this. We have the queen here. That doesn't seem like that's helpful right now, though. So knight takes, queen takes. Knight takes, bishop takes. My intuition is saying it's this. No, that doesn't make, I don't know. I don't have any intuition. Or it's a knight here, it could be. What if you go knight here to b4? Knight b4. If they go back. Oh yeah, it's just knight b4. Because now this is free. This is under attack though. So how do we keep this and win that is the question. So say you take, the queen takes here. That doesn't feel like that's right. Is it knight here? Or it was it, it's take here, and then you have the family fork, I see. And now you have the fork here on D3 at the end. Teach chess for beginners. Ah, okay. That's pretty cool. Is it going to be like for a grade school, or is it for anyone who wants to learn? But yeah, and appreciate the file there, Robot Coffee. Right now, what I'm looking at is there's an opposition almost if you take. I wonder, is it... You have to take on h4 first. It's either rook a1 or rook takes h4. I know it's those are the 2 options. I think you have to take on h4 first. I think if you go here first, they could just go up, right? This forces king down, And now rook a1. Wherever they go, yeah, I'm almost certain you have to do it this way. Yeah. And then here, and then take, and then here. I'll show the difference real quick. If instead I were to play rook a1, I think they can just play g5, yeah. And it's not forcing. The other way was a forcing line, so that's why it works there. We're sitting at 42. Their bishop is here in the center. I feel like I see bishop b5. I'm trying to see if it's that. It can't be that simple. The idea of bishop b5 is that you go here, you're winning, and you're attacking that. I don't see how that's not it, though. I just am not trusting it being that easy. That's the 40. I think that is it. Nothing else would work. If you go up, then there's no more attack. And then if you go here, same thing. I feel like you would have to. Playing at $100. Yeah, I will. I do think I'll be playing in that. I think I'll be playing in the $100 tournament. I'm not sure who else is playing, though. But I was invited. But I think bishop to b5 is probably the idea. Then APD, appreciate the likes. Check. And then take. Are you playing in it? Is that why you said no? Hey, you never. I'm not unbeatable, man. Don't feel bad. I'm not unbeatable. I lose a lot. Like you've seen it, I lose quite a lot. Yeah, they go e5. I think if you take, because right now. Wait, what? How do you win this? Because you're up a minor piece. You took the bishop here in the center, and they go e5. If you take on e5, you could just do this. This is probably a winning position. But usually it's more than just a winning position. I think that's it, though. Because you can't go back. Like, if you just give the bishop back, then you've done this for nothing. Capture, yeah. And you just take on d6 at the end, I think. Let's see. Tonight I played 4 games, all of them with 88% or higher. You're back. Yes, sir. Those are rapid, I'm assuming. And then they take here. It's exd6. And you're +1. Like, this is winning, I get. Like, this is winning, but... Really? That's the best move? Oh, queen back here, f6. You could definitely still lose this game, I'm not going to lie. But that is the puzzle. Let's go to this next one. Sitting at, what, 43? Yes. The rook is here on c8. Is that not a free rook? No way. I see a free rook. Maybe is it that easy? You take here on c8. Maybe the idea is that they're trying to see if you take with the rook and you move too fast. I feel like it would have to be queen captures c8, though. Qx c8. Alright, if this is wrong, it's wrong. The queen slides over. Now, here's where I'm confused. Because I don't know how all of this is not winning. So I have to figure out the difference between these moves. Let's see. The $100? I don't know. You never know. I don't know who I'm playing, and I hope I win, though, but I don't want to. Do you know who I'm playing against? I saw that it's a 16-person tournament in the thing he sent me. But the queen's on a6. Take on a6, rook takes. E would be okay. I don't get it, though. You could go queen no. You have to take the queen. Maybe you have to take the queen and then go bishop d8. So that you just sacrifice. Yeah. You're just sacrificing. Okay. Alright, the pawn is here on h5. Let's see. Is it a secret who I'm playing? Is that a secret, or is it public knowledge? Because the bracket he sent me was I think it was the template. I don't know if it had the other players there yet. Yeah, they're here on h5. We can go to b6 check. Or we could just go a5. In the Discord? Oh, okay. Is there a way I could get added to it? My Discord is the same as my TikTok. But yeah, this is just a checkmate net, I think. I've had this same puzzle before. It wasn't the exact same. It was in the center of the board, but it was the same concept. I had a bishop, so it's not the exact same puzzle. But the idea is the same, is a5. Because they can't stop the checkmate. They go here, it's here. Yeah, this is not stoppable. All right, their bishop is here on c2. For some reason, my first thought is bishop a6, but I don't think that's it. But that was the first thing I considered. The next thing I'm considering... Do you want... I don't think you can put a link in the chat, but I will text Rulis then. Yeah, I've tried links. I don't think you can for TikTok, unfortunately. And then good. I see a couple people, Jersh, Joe, and Marcus, all saw that. I said so that. You all saw that. All right, but they're here on C2 for this one. And then Uncle Joe, appreciate those likes. The knight sliding in. Here. Okay. I know that it has to be a move with tempo, because you can't go a5 to set this up. They could just play c4. And then if you played here now, I wonder, could you play that? Bishop a6, they take, you take over, and then you take? I wonder if it is bishop a6, honestly. That could, it low-key could be bishop a6. Here. And how do they save the rook? I think it is that. And there's nothing else anyway. Well, let's see. Yeah, that was my first thought, and it's right. Not for the reason... I don't know. It made sense to remove the queen, but I didn't see it instantly. But it ends up being correct. And we can take here on g2. Yeah. If I played it instantly, I would have got it correct. I just did not trust that was a good calculation. But their queen here is on c2. We can go rook b8. Up. You can just win the rook. Is there more, though? Oh, there's a checkmate. Oh, yeah, it's a checkmate. And you would take there. I'll show that real quick. If the bishop is there on... Oh, this is mate. They can't stop it. I think they're... No, you can't take this way and say they can go there. But this is still winning. But this other way is just made in one. So let's go to this next one. We're sitting at 48, I think. See if we... Or 47, excuse me. They did knight captures f7. Yes. Rook to e8 is the first thought. I appreciate that, APD. But yeah, rook e8 is my first thought for this check. Right? You attack the king, and then you have like queen g4. No. You have queen h5 though. But no, they could go f3. So I don't think either of those are correct. I have to rethink that. You could go queen e7. My only issue with queen e7 is once you take the knight, it feels like queen a6, king b8, queen x a7, king c8, and then queen c7 is checkmate. So you have to have checks. Oh, I don't love that. So rook e8 is back to my first thought. But then that's still mate. So you have to somehow either check them every turn or remove the knight or the queen. And I don't know how you can do either of those things. But once I figure that out, I'll have the puzzle answer. So down, again, that's not going to work because here if you take rook over, I'm pretty sure it's rook over because it makes the queen can't move. This wouldn't make sense. So it has to be a check. So I'm almost certain it's rook e8, but I want to see the full puzzle. Here over check. After f3 though, I don't see how you could continue it. I feel like that's almost impossible. Queen e7 over and then king queen up. I have to think outside the box here because right now I'm not getting it, and it's probably not that difficult. Like it's 48, but it's not like it's the 60s are where it feels impossible, and this is not in the impossible territory, so I can find this. So let's go through it again. Rook e8 is a check. You're attacking the king. They can only go over. That gives me some hope that's the move because a forcing move in a puzzle is a pretty good thing. But once they're on d1, say you go here, what's stopping them from just going over, I guess? Like, that's what I'm not seeing. So check here. You're cutting them off. But you don't have a light square bishop to deliver the final shot there. That's the problem. I may just have to get this one wrong because I don't see it. I think the problem with queen e7 is that you can't take the knight. All right, we have a check here on e8. That I was almost certain was the move. That's not the hard part. The hard part is the second one. You can't go queen g4 because the queen's there. And then queen h5, f3. Your queen's still hanging. That's another problem. Your queen's still hanging. Oh, I get it. And now it is just okay, okay. That's the only difference. Now you can just take the knight. Cause check, whatever, take, and now check over. You don't have to go to B. Yeah. And then you can just slide over. Which you could not have done previously. I'll show the difference real quick. If you instead do it with queen e7, there's a forced mate. If you, because you can't take the knight. There's forced mate. Or no, not that. If they go here, queen a6 check here. But the difference is when you go rook to e8 first, now you give your king this. Now you don't have, this is still forced mate, right? If you go king b8, but you now instead have king here to d8. So this is not winning, and you're up 2 minor pieces. You can rise to lose this game if you're not careful, but it is winning according to the engine. So we have the first 48. That's a pretty good start. Let's look at 49 here. They go up here to h6. I have the two things that come to mind, probably come to everyone's mind, bx c3 check, and then rook captures a2. Both of these are ideas that I'm thinking of. I would prefer between the two taking the pawn, because if you take on a2, king x a2, and you go rook a8, and they go king back to b2, so if you did this, take over, you're in the same scenario except you're down a rook. Which is why I believe you take here with check. The only thing with taking here check, if they take, check, down, check. Maybe the issue is if they don't take here, king over, rook take. Oh, I think either way you can just take this though, yeah. And now queen b4 should be the move. Queen b4, king c2, rook x a2, king c1, queen b2. Here, and then check me on the next one. Alright, the rook takes here in the corner. You can take on f7. There's there's a checkmate. That's pretty cool mate. So you have this check. This check. Not this check. That is check, but no, that's not what I meant to do. It's, if I can draw it, there we go. On f7, and then here, and then it's here. And then here, and then it's here. And then here, and then it's here. But that's not going to happen. It'll be like here. No, that's literally forced. They can't even sacrifice. Wow, that's a pretty cool one. But yeah, queen f7, and then bishop here, and then bishop takes. And that's checkmate. And we have the first 50. I'll show that real quick, why it is actually mate there. There's nothing that they could do to avoid it. If they slide over, this is mate. And then if here they go here, this is still mate, I think, in 2, with bishop takes on a6. Alright, so we're sitting at 50. The record is 62. The queen is here on e2. Where can we go? Queen x e2. Wow, this is not the puzzle you want to get for 51. Because, man, we have a lot going on here. If we do a material count, we're dead even. Okay. If you take the queen, the king has to take back. So if you did this, you know that the king has to capture on e2. Rook slides over. They could go up. Check. They could go up. Check. They could go down. Check. Down. I don't know if you could checkmate them that way. It looks promising, but I don't see a follow through. If you go knight here to here, they just take. So this is not an option. I'm not going to cross out queen x e2, but I don't see it instantly. Rook takes is a checkmate. So we can cross out rook x f7 and knight to d3. So that leaves queen captures e2. That leaves anything with the bishop. I feel like it has to be this, and I'm missing how it's checkmate. Oh, no, it can't be, because if you take on e2, king captures, and you go rook e8, they could go 95 discovered check on you. Wow. So my thought then would be you have to take it. Oh, do you immediately go take, and immediately bishop g4? That check, the king can't slide here and it can't come up. You can only block it legally. And then is it rook over checkmate? I think that is it. Here, and then you can go bishop g4. And they can only block. And then you have rook e8. And the king can't move anywhere. They can go back. But I think the same thing happens. Rook here to e8. Oh, I have to be careful though. Because here, they go 95. Discovered check. Rook e8, 95. I think it's still rook e8. And then you win a piece at the end. But then they could sack and get both pieces. That's where I'm struggling. If you take on f7, bishop takes, rook takes, bishop takes, king takes, that'd be completely equal endgame. Wow, this is crazy. Yeah, how would you do this? Because 95 is a discovered check no matter what happens. And rook e8, 95 is a response that could be played. Knight d3 is a check, right? So you would attack the king. They would have to take. That's a forcing move. But then this still runs into 95. There must be a reason that 95 doesn't work. Because I got the first, 3 moves right? 1, 2, no, the first 2 moves right. I'm imagining it just can't be that much more complicated. If I have it has to be an easier third move that I'm not seeing. If you go c6, then the bishop drops back. So that's probably not it. If you want to get the other rook involved, I think the issue is they still have 95. I feel like it's knight d3. That's the only thing I could see. Knight d3, and I'm just missing why it works. c6, I don't think you can play c6 so they can stay on the diagonal. Rook e8. Okay, rook e8, 95. Oh, wait. Here? Oh, no, then they could go there. No, here, they have to go back. And what if you go king f8? I think you could play it that way. Yeah, and then go king f8. Because then you'd be up a piece at the end of it, right? It's here, and then... Because if you go here, it's a repetition. But here, they could sack, or boom, boom, boom. But you take the knight at the end after king f8. No! It's not king f8. What? What is it? King h8? Why can you play this? Here. Rook sf2. Take. King takes. Oh, bishop captures b7. I missed bishop x b7 at the end of it. So you have to go... I thought this is a repetition. Can they not go back here? Oh my god. The knight can't move. Oh, yeah. I forgot the knight can't move when I go rook e8. Well, we get that one incorrect. We're sitting at, I think, 50? Yes, 50 on the dot. We got 51 incorrect there. Not unk, but I got to 50, but I got 51 wrong. Problem is knight d3, 63 rook e8, 95 king h8, d4. Oh, I can't play knight d3. Yeah, it felt like it was almost there, but I was not able to get it. I think king h5 is the move here. Because king h5 sets up a unstoppable mate on h3. Right, whatever they do, they wouldn't be able to slow it down. Because here, if they slide over, this is still checkmate. Here, they can't check me at all. Here, if they move the bishop, this is mate. Yes. And now this is just checkmate. Alright, so this next one, we're at 51. The king is on b6. What's going on, Pepjin? But yeah, rook h3. So rook h3, I think the problem there, Uncle little bro, can I pick a third option? Is there something else there that is not one of those two? But yeah, here, if you mean this rook down, I think the problem is they can go king here. Yeah. And you can't ever force, like, because now here, oh no, they go back. All right, king f3, yes. And now you can't force the checkmate, because if you go here now, they can blockade. So you have to go king there first to limit what they can do. But yeah, I see what you're saying though, because you do win the bishop, but then they have this passer once they take here. No, this is a draw. They can only play rook g1. I think so, an actual game that's still a draw. I don't think someone plays rook g1 for the most part. Tomorrow's Monday. Mondays I have school. Yeah, man. I have one more week off. I am excited. I have to choose between Unc and Lil Bro. I will say that's not true. I can definitely pick something else. I'll say those two are not. I will not pick. I'm not Unc. I'm definitely not Unc. And I'm definitely not Lil Bro. I'm like, what am I, like 7 years older than you? But yeah, their king is here on b6. We can go up. b5 is the first thought. This is kind of difficult, if I'm being honest with you. Bishop. So bishop f3 or h5. It's one of these two. I don't think it can be anything else realistically. It's probably this one though, because once you trade the bishop, they can't even. It's not possible for them to win it. Because here, take over up, over up, over up, take up, 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 up. Wait. There. So if you're here, and then whatever, and then here, capture, here, 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 here. Yeah, I think it's bishop f3. Yes. And they slide here to d8. I would guess that taking it's actually a mistake because of king c7. Maybe it's king captures e8, and then king c7, and then bishop c6 counter sacking, king takes, and then king d8, and then it's the race I was saying that they're not quick enough in. Because if you don't take the bishop, you can't play h5, which I think is the difference. So here, and then I think it's bishop c6. Otherwise, you lose the game. So here, and then you have to go back over. I wonder, do you play king d7 or do you play h5? You can't play a5. The king's too close. I don't know what you play. I think it's h5, because h5, king e5, h4. Yeah, I don't think getting here does anything. And they're one square short. As you can see, they're not going to promote in time there. Let's look at the difference. That was a pretty fun one. Bishop c6. I don't think I found that in an actual game. But knowing theirs, maybe I would. But this is a crazy move to play. The idea being, if you don't go bishop c6 in here, they're actually winning, as you can't stop from getting a queen. So you have to stop the queening idea by going here. And now they're simply too slow. They're here on h7, and then you have just queen down. And now you're going to win that. You should win the game. All right, we're sitting at 52. We have one incorrect, so hopefully we can just run through the next few. What's going on, Thrifting? How are you doing today? Yeah, but they're here on g6. If you take the knight, they take the bishop. Could you just go queen h4 after that? I don't see why that wouldn't work. If you take this here. Oh, it's because there's a checkmate. Yeah, I get it. So here. Could you play rook f2? Good to hear, man. Good to hear. I'm doing good as well. I've had a pretty good day. I hit a new peak on my blitz rating, so I'm doing good today. I'm trying to, and then appreciate the likes there from Icone. Appreciate the likes. I think you do take the knight, They take here, threatening mate with the queen and bishop lining up on g2. If you go back, they take the knight. But I think take, and then rook f2. And that should be the win. What's going on, Icon? Icon or Econ? Let's see, capture. And I think you have to go here. To go queen h4 after. Right, they wouldn't be able to stop that. Now if you go queen h4, they have checkmate. Then if you go down, they take the knight. So process of elimination, I think it's rook f2. It is. And you take the queen, and it's still a checkmate they can't stop. Despite them trying to. Here. This is crazy. It's just rook here, then rook down. It's not like it should work because of the way it's set up. Oh, no. I'll take that back. Here they go here. I'll have to rethink that. That doesn't make any sense, honestly. Oh, do you just go... Well, I was going to say h5, but then they can go h4. Take back now. How do you both? You need to get a rook on d3 or remove the king from h2. And getting a rook, or a rook on the third rank, that feels... You beat him 20 times? Oh, okay. Let's say 20 times. 12-0. Would you guys play 3+0 or 1+0? Yeah, they're on c5. I don't know if it's rook d... You can't go rook d3. Rook b8. Rook b8. Queen d3. Man, I don't know what the difference is. H. Okay, I'm not saying this out loud. I should probably calculate out loud. What I'm thinking is you can't go here because of queen d3. I'm trying to make it work, but I don't think you can make it work. So it's probably not a rook move, and I think I was wrong to dismiss that. Because there's no other way you could do it. Like, the rook getting here, you can't slide over. Like, queen d3 stops every third rank idea. Like, every square. Like, you wouldn't go there. But every third rank, this just stops it. So this has to be the move. I just don't see why it is the move. From process of elimination. So h4, the attack's done. That's why I said it doesn't work. Because they just play h4. So, and you take the pawn, right? But then after rook over, queen over, up. I don't see how it continues. But it has to be it has to be that. Because the alternative doesn't work. Maybe you want to set up. But the queen being on b5 is kind of a hint that it's not a back rank attack. Because you just can't go to the back rank. Or the queen can at least. So I'm thinking it's h5. It is h5. They slide over. Okay, I must be missing something. Because they give it up. And you could just go rook d3 now. I don't see how that's winning, though. But well, if they go h4, how it's winning. But this is definitely it. You can go rook here now. And they can't stop it. Because they'd go back and you'd go up here to h4. And then here, if they checked, I think you could still go there. Yeah. This is exactly what happens, too. You can only play here anyways. You don't have to think too much. These lose pieces, and then you can go here to h7. I want to see how that works, though, because I'm not even entirely sure how that works. It was a process of elimination. So I'll show why my idea at first I knew couldn't work. Once you go here, there's just no way to get to the third rank after queen here. Like, there's no way to ever win this. Once you go up, they could just move the king. This is not the best move, but you get the idea. It's only minus 0.26. Catch you later. Southern, thank you for joining in, man. I was going to catch you later, Cruz. Thank you for joining up. Attorneys, yes, sir. It'll be not tomorrow, so it'll be on, what's today? Tuesday. It'll be on Tuesday. But yeah, I want to see why h5. So they go h4. No, this is not. Okay, here, I want h5. If they go h4, I was confused how this is winning. You take here. Queen f4. Okay, I saw this. Rook g. Oh, it's checkmate. I get it. With here. That's what I was missing. Is that they can't block with the rook again. I was like, why? But then you go h4. That makes sense. Alright. We got that still despite it. But it was not the cleanest way we've ever got a puzzle. Let's go to this next one. The queen is on c7. Queen f2, then rook d2. after the h5. Yes, that's exactly correct. I think you're telling me, not asking though. But yeah, that's right. But the queen is here on c7. The knight to go to f3 is my first idea. Knight f3 attacking the king. Then go to h1, and then queen h. Oh, okay. And an immediate problem I was running into is that if you go here, the queen guards. But if you go bishop d6 first, and then you give a check, but then if you go bishop b6, they could go queen back. Now you can't go knight f3. So what's more important, getting in knight f3 now, or setting this up? Because there's no checkmate. Like, despite all of that, like, the queen's on this light squared diagonal. Knight slides in, king's forced over, bishop slides up, queen goes down. I think it is knight f3. I don't want to rush it because I'm at 54. I can get my personal best, so I want to take a little bit of time, but I'm pretty sure it's knight here because they slide over, and then you go here attacking the queen. They go back, and now you have two pieces that can mate on h2. So what you could do with that is maybe queen over, setting up mate. If they push up to g3, I don't see it, but I feel in my spirit that this is the idea. And then Daniel, appreciate those likes there on TikTok. We're closing in on 800. But feeling it in my soul is probably not a good metric. But I think this is it. Yes. The king slides over. Now, this is the fun part of the puzzle. Because I'm pretty sure it's bishop d6. And then queen slides back. The only part I'm missing of this one is how you could win all the way. Like, the idea would be you threaten one of the mates with the bishop and knight. Like, you attack the diagonal, and then they open up the file, or you attack the file and they open the diagonal to get mate on h2. But is which one first is the big question. So if you go bishop to d6, they bring their queen back. The knight is hanging. Right, so you could go here, threatening mate twice. They could just push h3, but you would need a piece. You need to somehow slide in here. Right, that's the thing that I'm missing. Someone needs to slide all the way in. And then you can't go rook. I think it has to be bishop d6 though, because with anything, if the queen gets back here, it's not a mate. So it must be here, and then the queen slides back. And then what is after that is the question. Because if you go here, and then queen back. So let's say queen up, threatening mate. They just push here. It is bishop d6. The queen drops back. Like, you can't allow queen g3. So we're just thinking through every thought, every logical point. You can't allow queen g3, so that's how I know it's bishop d6. And knight f3, it just was a very forcing idea. It felt like the right thing to do. Now, queen h5 was my first thought. It doesn't work though, because if you go queen h5, they can play h3. So I don't think that'd be it. Maybe there's something on the e5 square I'm missing though. Oh, what if you play... Okay. No, because if you go bishop e5 now, they just take the knight. So that's another thing. I know they take the knight if I don't move it or threaten mate. So that's why queen h5 I feel like is the move. As we see what would happen if we move slow. They just take the knight, the attack's done. This is like one of those only moves here. Only one thing works probably. All I see is queen h5. I'm missing how you would win it after h3 though. So let's say you go here and they go h3. You can't slide back over because they take it. Here, up. Can you sack? No, there's no light square check. This is definitely the move. I'm just missing what to do after h3. Nothing else would work. Knight back doesn't work. because the rook could slide over. So it's here. No, it's not there. What is it? What is it? You sat. No, you don't even. There's not even a checkmate. That is frustrating. There's not even a mate. I'm trying to get mate and it's just winning a pawn. Dude, there's no way. That's all you have to do. I'm thinking there's some type of checkmate or something. You just take on h2. That is ridiculous. I just assumed just winning the pawn is not it. I guess that's a bad assumption. So we get that one incorrect. We have 2 incorrect on 54, unfortunately. And I did the hard part, I'm pretty sure. That's mating, you're saying? Really? Let's see. There's a mate that I missed. So you take rook e1, rook a e8, bishop e3, queen h5, king g1. I don't think it's a mate. Check. Over. Yeah, it's not mate. It's just an attack. That's a lot of moves to see, though. I'm not gonna lie. I was not able to get that one. But the rook is here on h4. I think you can go up here to a7. Rook slides. Here to g4. If you take over, or could you just take this? You could. Yeah, you could. Take here on g2. King takes. Up, they're too slow. And then if you take here, so take here, 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 here. Yeah, they're too slow. And now you get the queen. Now go to this next one. We're at 55. The king is here in the corner. I think all you have to do is go queen here. I'm pretty sure. Queen here to e8. And there should be a checkmate, right? Because you go here, if the queen goes back, that's mate. If you go here, that's all they can do, actually. It's not even a... Yeah, they can only do that. The rook slides over. We have the white pieces. Huh. This is... Usually you have to build like a bridge, but you can't really do that here. So I'm not sure how to do this one. Maybe it's king here to d6. Because if you go king d6, this is still hanging. And that's promoting. So they can only stop one of the two. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just here. Because you go here, they can either guard this pawn or stop checkmate. Because the king's not connected to this and the rook's not connected to that. That's why you probably can't go king f6. Because you go king f6 here, here. Now they are connected to that. So once you take... I don't get how that's not winning either, though. But I think it's here. Yeah. And they go down and get the queen. Now, this endgame is not easy to win, but it is a winning endgame. You take this, and you go here. I want to see why you can't win it the other way, though. Because I feel like the other way would still be winning. If you go here, I mean, it's not. But why is it not? Oh, it's because they just... What am I talking about? They just get the queen. I don't know what I'm talking about. Never mind. Never mind. I was looking at it as if the rook had to slide back over. But yeah, they can always just get the queen, is what I missed there. Take. It is only plus 2.4. It's not an easy checkmate. What's going on, Jasmine? How you doing there today? And then, Norinda, appreciate the follow there on, or the sub there on YouTube. Let's go to this next one. We're sitting at 57. We have some puzzles cooking. Did you do your lead chess today, Jasmine? Was it a lead chess training day for you? Yeah, bishop e5, I think, is the idea. Or we can go queen to f4, one of these two. So you give this check and you win the rook. And I want to keep it simple. So I did not do that for the one I got wrong. Did not do that when I got wrong. And I regretted it because I didn't take on h2. So maybe it's just going here and back. Check, and then... I don't know, though. That seems like that's not it, though, to be honest. If we go here, they go back. You take here. They take that. You go here, they take that. They take that. So that's not going to work. It has to be the bishop. The queen, because the bishop's a weakness itself. Sitting in the center, being guarded by the queen. The queen will be overloaded on f4, guarding b8 and d4. So that's why I think it's bishop e5 check. I think the complicated part is finding bishop x b8. So here, they go back. You take here. They check. And after that, that's where I'm a little lost. Because going up, they just have queen down. So I would guess once they're here with that check, you go over. Because they can't check you here because of the bishop. I think that's it. Let's see if I'm right. The rook can't take, though. The rook can't take. The rook can't take because rook takes, bishop takes. You think you're up, and then they have queen d8. Right, I think you have to take this way. Oh, they just do it straight out. Okay. Decisions. Because you could... I'll have to see at the end why this is not winning with, like, 2 different moves. Because either going here, check, up, take, or just taking. They both seem like they'd be winning. I just want to take. What? No, it is the other way? No way. How is that not winning? It's the more complicated way. And I literally said that too. Why is it a difference, though? You take this. Queen x d5. Oh, you can't help but lose the rook. Oh, that's why it is queen f1. Okay. I didn't see their difference, but the difference was you lose the rook this way. Unstoppable. And I set the exact line. That is... that is crazy. Alright, well, we stopped at 57 that run. Let's try again. We're not done yet. See if we can get to the record. Need to. What's your puzzle rating right now there? So I have an idea of your baseline. But rook can slide here to b1. Checkmate. We can go queen here, check. And then queen to f7. The rook slides over. Take queen, take rook here on c1. And then you take the bishop. They can slide down, but you still be okay. Take this as checkmate. Rook down, that's checkmate. This is checkmate, oddly enough. They're going to slide their knight over, but you take here on h2, and that's mate. Rook slides over. Queen in, queen up. We have the first 8. We have the first 9. We have the first 10. First 11. Checkmate. Yeah, honestly, it's not... doesn't get complicated. So I'll say... really around the 30s. It's not... you can't just get them right around the 30s. Like, they're still doable, though. My rating, chess.com or FIDE. I don't have a FIDE rating. I can just give you my rating. My USCF is 1939. My Blitz is 2300, and my Rapid is 2200. Yeah, their queen is here on f6. I would imagine you just take this here. Yeah, let's go to this next one. The king slides up. Let's go up like 200. Hey, it's only up from here. It's only up from here. Don't feel bad about it. Don't feel bad about it. We go up here to a6. Here, up, over. Yeah, they're just too slow. You want to go to the next one? Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, Johnson. I was like, this is pretty cool. I almost threw the last game too, because I was kind of nervous that I was right there. And I was winning, and I almost lost on time. At 0.9 seconds left when I won the game. So it was very close to not hitting my peak. Well, that was my peak still, though. But I did lock in. I was proud of it. I appreciate that, the Chess Viking. Yeah, the king is here. We can go rook c7. And then probably rook d8. I believe you're getting to 1,000 soon, Jasmine. I believe. Just gotta get some games in. I see the natural talent. But their knight is here. It's not a checkmate because the knight's back. But the rook can slide back. And that will be a mate happening soon. Alright, their pawn goes here to g6. The knight can't slide in because they have too many pieces. The rook over... oh, it's just here. I say rook over doesn't work either, but it's because it's not supposed to work. You can take here and then double check checkmate. They can't stop it. The rook slides forward. If you take the rook, knight takes... you could win. Oh. I almost see it. Yeah, 21. You can take the rook. No, you could take the bishop. I know this is not that complicated. Maybe you could do this. Take here. I think you take the bishop. Yeah, and you take the knight. Because if you take that, you lose your queen. Here. So here. Alright. The knight takes here on f2. Let's see. We could take this and then checkmate. Yeah, when's the last time you played a game, Jasmine? Have you played any games as of late? And their bishop is here on b7. I believe it's knight e to f3. Because knight e f3, you're giving this check and you're opening up taking the rook there at the end. So I think it's this. And then you can take here, check, and then rook can slide down for checkmate there. And that's all you have to do. Alright, the queen is here on a3. This is just checkmate. The king can't slide over because of the queen. This is also just a checkmate. The king can't move. Pawn slides forward. What we see is the queen is under attack from the bishop on c1. The queen could slide over, but then the bishop slides here to f4, so that wouldn't actually work. Oh, it's knight here, right? Yeah, it's knight here. Because then they have to go back. And then checkmate there. That's gorgeous. I want to show that checkmate. What a fun mate. It's knight to e3. Because when the king goes here, this is mate. And the alternatives are the queen sliding in, queen taking, and then still mate. Alright, so this next one. We're sitting at 26. They have the queen forward. It's probably just here and here. Yeah. And then here. Check, and then rook down. And then queen up, finishing off the mate. Are the bishops on f1 trying to trap our queen? How can we save our queen? They have a few pieces attacking it. We have 2 rooks, a queen, and a bishop. They have 2 rooks, 2, and 3 minor pieces. So we have a queen for a bishop and a knight right now. If we can get more than the bishop and a knight, the queen can be given back. Or more accurately, we have to give the queen back because you can't save it. So as long as we get more pieces than 2 bishops and a knight for the queen, will be up. And I think that is set up if you just take on f4. If you take on f4, they take your queen. You take with check, and then you take the bishop on h3. So you'll be up a bishop. So capture, capture with check, and you take. So you got 3 pieces for the queen, so you are still up. All right, for this next one, we could go queen to a5. They could go knight to c3. After that, I'm not certain. But this is the first move that comes to mind. It does run into that issue, right? So I don't know if that is the move. Bishop up? No. Here is forcing, so I'm going to say this is probably it. It does force the knight to slide forward. Maybe bishop here. Oh, the knight's here to guard that. Yeah. It's bishop here after. Because if they move the bishop, you'll take, and then you win the rook there in the corner. So here, take, and now they just give up the minor piece. Alright, the queen slides over. I'll show that real quick. If they instead try and run the bishop away from the queen and go back here, you would take here, 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 and you take the rook there on a1. Alright, we're sitting at 29. Can we get to 30? That'd be a good number to be at, as we would be almost halfway to the go. The queen can go to c1 check. They could slide up to e2. You could take over and then queen f2 checkmate. That should be it. My only hesitancy is if you go here and they go up and then you take, what if the knight slides in? That would be a bit difficult to get around. But there should be something that I'm missing with that move. Here's not it because they push, take. Yeah, that's just not quick enough. This is definitely it though. Oh, it's queen here after. Yeah. It's queen e3. You can't take the pawn. But queen e3, they go back, and then that's checkmate. Check, and then mate here on f2. I'll show real quick. If you were to take instead, it doesn't work. Instead, if you do here, because the knight blocks. Yeah, once the knight goes to d2, there's nothing else. So I was hesitant and didn't play it instantly. And I found the correct move there. All right, for this next one, it's a forced mate by sacking the rook. The king takes. Queen slides, the king can only go over, and then queen a3 checkmate. Such small margins for that one, but it is winning. This one's a little easier, I believe. You can just take the knight, and whatever they do, they should be losing. Because they can blockade, yes. But once you take that, you're attacking the queen, you're attacking this. This should just be easier. Take, Now for the hard part, you're still down a piece right now. So you have to figure out a way to win material with this. So the knight can take on e6. You're attacking the queen. If they go up, you could, I don't know, just go all the way back. You're still attacking the queen. You still have a discovered attack on the king. That's the main thing with this. So take here, take. And I'll show why it's so powerful is because you have this such an active queen. Perfect. Well, no. That's not what I show. So let's say instead they go c6. You go back here to b3, and you still have this pin. Like they go here, you go here attacking the queen, and now you can see, let's say they just get out the way. It's the idea that you have this gorgeous attack discovered. That's why it's so strong. Besides you winning back the material, there's still more material to be won because you control the diagonal. Alright, the next thing we have, probably just bishop takes knight. That's all I'm seeing. If you take here first, then that's not checkmate. So you take here, removing a defender, and then you take the knight there on f7. The knight is here on a1. Knight to d5, queen over, and then queen to a4 checkmate. That's all, yeah. They don't make you find too many of the moves there. It's not a overly complex one. The rook is here on d3. If you go rook here, it looks like it's winning, but it's not the cleanest win, to be honest. But also queen f2, king to d1 is not the cleanest win. So there are two things here that I'm not a huge fan of playing, but between the two, it's probably better to go rook here. This way, this rook is weaker. But I have to calculate actually 35. So it's not an issue that's not coming that easy, because I am at like a 2000-ish level puzzle. I think rook e5 though. Rook e5 attacking. So going here. The knight blocks, you'll take here with check. They go over. That doesn't feel right though. It doesn't really feel right. Because you're already down a piece, you need to win material. Rookie, if they just sack the knight back, that's not really enough for you. Oh, but there's a checkmate though if you do it that way. Check, back, check. But no, they could go king to c1 though. So that's not a checkmate. If the queen slides to f2 though, queen f2, king d1. So if you go here, king d1, here up. How is that winning? Like if you took the rook in the corner, I think it's rook e5. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I don't see how you could do it the other way. Yeah, I just don't see how that works. And you would take with the rook, I assume. If you take with the queen, they could go there at the end. So you have to take with the rook. Oh, I definitely miss why that works, because I did not see them sacking their queen. Let's see. Rook e8, I don't think you can play, because queen x e8 there. Why can they not go over? I saw queen f2. There's a mate in 8. Okay, well, I didn't see the mate in 8. That's what I was missing. There's a mate in 8. Check. Yeah, I just thought the queen taking doesn't make sense. Queen f2, rook c5. So the reason I didn't like queen f2 is there's no way after king d1 to really win the game, like here. Like, I just didn't see how you could win it. Even if you took the rook, like, there's just too much happening as a counter. So that's why I took with the rook instead, because I thought the queen needed to stay there. Alright, so this next one, we're sitting at 35, I think. So we're above halfway to the goal. Oh, this one is a pretty common tactic. You take here, rook down, and you take here. Alright, we're at 36. Well, you know you have to push the pawn, so you could just... There's not much other option besides pushing. And you get the queen. Alright, this is ridiculous. Because there's 2 checks. There are 3 checks. And you could draw this with whichever check you played. So I don't understand why they're showing a difference. They're all drawing, aren't they? Maybe the point is that even if you went here, then here, you would still have to go back here. I don't get how this is. Every queen move works. I don't like. I have to look in the analysis board. Maybe I'm wrong. This works. Check. That you just have to check them. Check. And then here. All of those work. Maybe this is the most efficient way, but you would also win if you played this. That feels disingenuous. This is probably it because they want the most efficient way to do it. But I feel like you could also play the other moves. Like, that's not an only move. That's the only. How is that the only move? You could go here. This is a draw. How? Check. Here. Check. Here. Check. Over. Oh, they could just. The king's too far. I guess it is a draw. Like, if they go there, they're losing. But if they go here, this is actually a stalemate. Huh. I guess you could only go down. That's crazy. Usually you can check forever, but you cannot in that position. I was wrong there. That is not one you can do it in. I've had a similar position, though. So I think my opponent just lost, and they didn't have to lose the game. Because I've definitely won a game doing that before. But let's see. Because it's the F pawn. Oh, it's just because it's stalemate trick. Okay, so that is winning if they're on the E file, you're saying? Is that the difference? So like I've definitely won a position similar, but it probably I don't think it was the F pawn. I think it was a different one. Yeah, the rook is there on B2. Can you go H4? The king takes for. Oh, okay, interesting. So only for C and F can you not do that. Everything else you can. Oh yeah, because you couldn't get the queen F2 or queen C2 otherwise. I see what you're saying. Okay. The more you know. That's a pretty good knowledge. Did you learn that naturally or were you taught that? Yeah, we could go here to H4. They take, king back. And that wouldn't actually work. So what can we do? We're getting stuck on these, honestly. Like, I would feel like it's king G3. Because rook up F3. Yeah, I don't see how it's not here. And you could now go here. And you take the rook. And you're winning that game. Alright, see that the knight is here on D5? We're down 2 minor pieces right now. So not good. I think you can go rook check first. Here on A8. You know where? Dude, that's some pretty good knowledge. Yeah, they go here, you take the knight, they go up. And you can take here, they take, and you take the bishop. Okay, but if you take, because if they go bishop here, every move is so intentional in a puzzle. Because I'm like, why can't they just go here? Because knight takes bishop with check as well. Like, the positions you play are just insane in puzzles. Like, how would this ever work out I guess that's any tactic. How would this work out perfectly for you? But that's what's happening. They can't go for the counter. Because this is check. Like, that's free, but you're in check. So it doesn't matter. Well, this next one, we're sitting at 37, I believe. 30, no, I'm at 39, wow. I've been moving on this second attempt. Their knight is here on B4. You could take on B4 and try and trap the queen. No, you could not do that. The issue with the position is that if you were to, so let's say you take and then go here, queen xa1. How could you possibly trap the queen? Like, you go up. Oh, they can't go back here because the pawn's here. Yeah, you can't do that. I was like, why can't they go back here? And I'm missing that the whole point is we have pieces there. Now, here runs into queen takes. So there must be a different way to do this that I'm not familiar with. Here they capture. Here they go. Here. 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 And now you win the rook at the end and not the queen. That's a funny thing, a twist to this funny wrinkle. Yeah, I think you have to do it that way. I'll show it real quick. Knight a4. I don't think you can play knight a4, but we'll throw a few different moves. But yeah, knight a4 here. I think it's too slow, and they should be able to. Yeah, I think it's too slow. That's the problem. The reason that it does work with bishop to d2 is because once they go up, you have this rook over idea. Oh no, I'm sorry. Oh, it's knight b1? Oh, I would have got it wrong too then. Knight b1 is the move. Did not see knight b1. And then helix d3. I was looking at it completely wrong. Pawn takes, then bishop b2. Bishop b2, that was my first thought as well, but then they take here on e1. I also was thinking that though. It took me a second to realize it was not the idea. Where the king slides over. This is a mate in 2 with knight e6, king e8, rook e7 checkmate. They can't stop it. It's a forced mate. Alright, the bishop takes here on f3. I think it's just queen a5. They shouldn't be able to... Yeah, look at this pawn here, so they can't go knight back here to c3. These puzzles are hilarious. Like, there's no way... Like, it's cool. Not hilarious in a bad way. Like, I think it's so fun how they've thought so deep into the position where this happens, and they can't stop it by going knight c3 because there's a pawn there. So, yeah, I think you just go here. Knight slides. I was worried about this. I don't know why you can't take with the rook. I'm not seeing the... Oh, no, you have to take with the rook. I was like, why can't you? I'm like, king h8. But you can go king h8. The knight slides in. You're actually getting mated. You have to take with the rook. I'll show that as well. But then check and then checkmate. But if you don't take there, you lose the game. Pretty cool wrinkle they threw into that one. But the thing is, if you allow... Like, if you go here, this, you're actually getting mated yourself. This is checkmate. So a pretty cool back and forth there. Alright, let's go to 42. The knight is here on f5. What can we do to find this puzzle? The queen can slide to e1. So, queen e1 check. The king slides up. We take check. King slides over. Rook check. King here. Queen checkmate. Or, yeah, that would be checkmate if you did it that way. Let's see, check. And then... Oh, no. That's incorrect. Oh. Why can you not do this? Oh, king. It would be mate, except the king slides here. Yes. If they go here, it is checkmate, though. But they don't have to go there. And that was me rushing and playing it wrong. All right, the queen is there on a2. We see if we can win a queen. Let's see if there's more, because you can take here on a2 at the end. Looking to attack on h2. Let's see. Rook x a2. That's all you have to do. Alright, the queen slides in. They have a checkmate idea, it seems, with queen to g2. I don't know how you would win this game, though. Because they have 2 maiden ones on g2. So you would have to... You would have to slow that down somehow. And the only check I see is here. Or bishop takes check. Is it bishop takes check? It might be. Bishop here, rook up. Rook down. I think so. Because you can't do anything else. If you just take the queen here, now it's rook check, and then queen slides over. Then you take that, and then you take there on f8 in the game. All right, their bishop is here on d7. We can go queen e7 check. King slides over. Check over, and that wouldn't work. Oh, you have to go all the way down here on a8, and then you take the bishop. I'm like, how do you do this? Because if you're too slow, they get away, but that is how you get it done. All right, see that their rook and king are very active. If you push up, Hmm. Okay, we're 2 squares away from queening. If we go here, they can go rook back. And then if we go here, here, here. Now that's pointless. Also because they would have a checkmate at the end themselves. So if you take here on h6, the king could take back. You could go up, but then they still go back here to f1. So all of those are probably not it. We could slide rook over here to a7, but then they push h7. The one I think you take, I agree. Yeah, I do think it's that. Because I was about to say, if you do that here, could you just go b5? Because there, take king over, b5, rook slides. Well, I don't actually, here, here. You'd have to go here, and then down, here. No, I don't know if you can do that. If you take king takes, wherever you go, there might be fast enough. b5, rook here, up, rook over. No, I think you need the rook still, actually. Rook over to a7. I don't want to get this one wrong. Rook here. Here, here. Oh, they're setting up a checkmate. If you go... Oh, yeah. Because here you would have to take. It's either rook a7 or a2. I don't know the move order, though, but it's one of those two. I don't think you can sack... Or I wanted that to work, but I don't think you can make it work. If you go a2, they move their rook down. And then you can go over. Or is it rook here first? And then, what's the difference between the two? I don't see the difference between rook a7 and a2. What I'll do is probably a2, because I'm kind of guessing. And between the guesses, it makes more sense as you're just 1 square closer to the queen. Very simple logic, but sometimes it doesn't have to be complicated. That's what I think, yeah. They take... There, pretty likes their hezi. The rook is there on b6. Bro, what? You're worried because there's opposition. If you get a queen, that's checkmate. Bro, I'm so confused. Oh, now is it, do you take the pawn there? That could be it. Rook takes h6. Check, take, yeah. And you get the queen. Okay. That is a problem. I want to see why you can't instead go rook a7, though. Why can you just not do that? So they do this, whatever. No, here. Why can you not go here? Rook c6. Oh, wait. Oh, I get it. Because now they're always threatening their own mate, and you can't push your pawn down. They go rook g7, and if you go this way, you're going to lose. So you have to go here, and they can just keep checking you. Okay, that's the difference. Rook, yes, it was rook takes h6 there, tiny. Yo, we got a few new subs. We're at 1140 there on YouTube. Appreciate you guys showing some love there. If you are enjoying, appreciated support is liking it up. That's really helpful there. But if rook a7, then you can get back to a8, protect mate. If a2, they can take and threaten mate. So are you saying goes to a7 or a2, Kale there? And pretty likes there, Alex. Nah, you're good. No, you're good. I love the participation. It makes it more fun not talking to myself. So thank you guys for putting in your input as well. Yeah, when you go queen there to f3 check, they go down. And we go rook here check. They go down, queen over check, king over, queen there checkmate. Yeah, that's pretty simple for this type of puzzle. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why that's here. Here. Maybe, okay, maybe it's not that simple. Because if they go here in the corner, it's not that easy. I still think the idea is pretty simple. Like, if you go here and then down, you could then go here. Because if they go over, then you go here, here, here. Maybe that's, yeah, because you have to find a little bit of finesse in doing this. It's not as easy as I originally thought. But it's still a checkmate forced. You can't go here. It's loot. Are you losing? It's probably a draw, but this is winning. And then you go rook down. I'll show the difference real quick. If you instead go here, you can't win the game after king game 1. Because now if you go down, you're just losing the rook there. If you see, and then Shylocks, I think that says. Shilohs. Appreciate the likes there on TikTok. Closing in on 1.5 thousand. But yeah, you see the difference. So that's why you have to go queen there to e4. That seems pretty easy for the 48th puzzle. But I'll take it. The knight is here on... Oh, it was a little wrinkle in it. But I guess that's a, what, 2500 puzzle? That seems about accurate the more I think about it. Here it looks like the queen is almost trapped if you just take the knight. Because right now you can't go rook h8 because they just take your queen. And then it doesn't work. But if you take the knight, you're up a minor piece momentarily. I don't see why it's not just that. I want to do that. Yeah. And then rook can slide over. Here. And then up. You would... What would you do after, though? Rook over, they push up here to g5. The question is because if you just go here, they could go queen down and go back. So then would you take check? Well, this is the move. I'm trying to figure out the rest, but it's definitely rook h8. It's after g5 I'm trying to calculate. But I'm pretty sure it's rook h8, g5, queen e6. So here, g5, queen e6, queen down. Take check. What's going on, Earth Science? Yeah, take check over. Maybe I'm not sure what to do, but I think it is rook h8 though. I'd be so shocked if it's not that. I'm gonna play there here. Yeah, and now for the move I'd expected. Is it queen e6? Oh. Wait, no, can you take... No, you can't take this. So you could take that, and then the queen just takes now. Queen over. I think you have to go queen e6. Because you win this. There just must be... Yeah, it must be something. Queen e6. Okay, they sacked the queen for the bishop. I must have missed an idea there. I did not see that happening. Here. What if they just go here? Here. Oh, you have the file. And you take... They take... Oh, I have another... I forgot I have the rook there in the corner. That would have made that puzzle a lot easier. I don't know what I was looking at. Because I see it when I play rook h8, I know I have a rook there. But when I'm looking at this part, I completely forget that if they... Yeah, that makes sense. Alright, so this next one. We're sitting at 48, I think. Yes. After king moves over the h file, the bishop moves. Yeah. Good call, Titan. And Shiles, appreciate those likes. Yeah, their king is over. We're closing in on 2.5 thousand now. It's definitely gone up a decent amount. I hope it starts going good for you. How are you typing in cursive? That's pretty cool. But their king is over. If you take this, then the knight takes. So you can't do that. If you go here, that feels simplistic in terms of what we're trying to do. Queen over feels like the only thing to do. As it's actually just checkmate. Yeah, it is just checkmate. Here, that's just me. Alright, the pawn takes here on b3. The queen could go to a5. And you threaten mate in 1. And if they go rook c2, then queen a1 is checkmate. My problem with that is that if you go queen to a5, and then they go here, where is the mate there? Check. Well, this is... It has... That's not it. What is it? It's not there. Let me see if I can find it before... Oh, I just saw it. No, I don't see the move yet. So they go knight f3. So say the knight's here. Let's see if I can find it now. Or no, we're a few moves behind. Now it's queen a7? What is the difference? Queen a7. Alright, I gotta see the difference. You can't go here because of king c2. But now, if they play king c2... Oh, you could take on d4. Honestly, my brain was not at all looking at d4. So, I completely missed that one. Can't even be mad at that. Every chess YouTuber I come across, so you just got a new subscriber. Appreciate that, Tis but a Jess. Thank you for the support. But yeah, we're waiting or going for this next one. We have 2 incorrect. Can we at least get to 50? That's the 60. If I'm being realistic, is quite difficult right now, given I have 2 incorrect before 50. And then Shilos and Tam, I think I see. Appreciate the likes. Unless did I see the name wrong? I think that says Tam. But thank you guys for the likes. We're closing on 3.2 thousand. Thank you all for those likes. The rook can go to e8. The king slides forward here to h7. So we go down. And then they lift their king forward here. After that, where do you go? Check up. I don't want to trust my first instinct again. Because it just got me wrong. But I don't see why it's not just here. Here, 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 here. No, here, up. The thing is, it doesn't even matter that I don't see it. You can't do anything else, so I don't see. Yeah, you can't play anything else. Oh, it's because of this, and then you take that. All right, at 50. They move their king here to f5. Oh, okay. It's just queen here. Because you go here, they can't go back. They have to go up, and then that's checkmate. We're at 51. The rook slides down here to d6. Oh, that's low-key a crazy mate. It's like mate in 5, but the mate is... I just saw it, and I lost it. Never mind. I have to recalculate it. I just saw it, but I don't see it anymore. The rook is there, so it's here, and then... up, and then here, up, no, here, 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 and then here. Yeah, so I knew I just saw it. And then we go here, and then check, and then checkmate. I'll show real quick, you can't do it the other way, because it won't actually work. If you go, yeah, queen h4, that was one of my first thoughts. The problem with this is queen slides to h3. If they bring the rook over, it is checkmate, I think. Yeah. But with the queen, they can stop it. And then Shiloh's, appreciate these likes. Closing in on 4,000 now. Yeah, let's look at this next one. The king is here on g3. All right, what do we have? What do we have? Well, the only check we have is sacking the bishop on g7. And I'm feeling like that's probably the move, because you open up the file for the rook if you go here. So let's say bishop e5, they take rook over, checkmate there. So we just want to play it. That is correct. That is correct. I did not expect them to not take the bishop though, because this makes it a little more complicated. Yeah, how do you do it now? Oh, maybe it's bishop f6, and then they go back, check, and then here, back, and then you check, yeah. And now queen back. And then rook g8. Okay, we got that one correct. The queen is there on e5. Qx f2. So I think the issue, we looked at real quick, with Qx f2 is that once you take it, they can go g3, and you can't check them anymore. That's what I was seeing, at least. Like, they have that little cove for their king on g2. But bishop f6, it forces them to, or not forces them, it keeps them from creating a safe space. Now, wherever they go, there's a check on the next move. And once you get that check, the game is over. But the queen is here on e5. Usually you can get 2 pieces for the rook, but they have too many passers, so you know that's not that type of, this is not that type of game. And they have too many checks on us, so we also know that it's an attacking tactic, because if you're too slow, queen here is nasty, right? So it's either taking the queen or going to g3 with either one of the knights, or f2 with the e4 knight. I'm trying to see if there's a way you could get a fork. I'm not seeing one right now. Knight g3, king g2. So you go here, like there. I don't see how that's how you would get a mate at the end of that. Knight f2. Why is this a puzzle? This is, I guess it's a puzzle because it's supposed to be challenging. But man, this is very challenging. This is the 56th puzzle, so it should be, but still, I am really stuck. Well, I know it's a knight move. Taking the queen, they have 3 passers, so I imagine it's not taking the queen. Check over, check over, check. Okay, there's almost a fork. But once you go here and then go king up, what could we do after that? Yeah, what do you do after that is the question. So I think it's here first. And then the king moves. And then here. I don't think you can move this knight in. I can't explain it. I don't think you can. It's too... No, it's one. No, which knight? I just saw which knight. One of the knights you can't move here. And you can only decide to go here or here. Is it this one or this? I think you can't move this one here. Yeah, you can't. Because this one, this knight doesn't have a square that's useful. Right? So here, it's either here or here then. I've taken this knight out of consideration. If it's this knight, I'll be quite upset. But I don't think you can move this knight. Because this knight just can't go anywhere. Right? So let's say it's... Okay. Wait, no. I keep saying that backwards. This knight... Yeah, because this knight has more... This knight has more squares than this one. This one can only go here and here. So that means I should move this one because I still have access to those two. Okay, yeah. So knight fg3 is my first thought. King slides. I still don't have a second check though. So maybe it is this one. Here, over. I'm gonna have to guess, man. I have no idea. But there's has to be some way to not make this a guess though. What am I missing? Knight g3 up. Oh, and then here? Because my issue was they could go queen f4 and then there's a checkmate. But you could just take the queen there. And you're still guarding g7. So let's say check up here. If they go down, take, push. You wouldn't be able to stop them from queening though. From what I can see. Right? So if you go knight here to g3 check. They move their king forward. You go queen f8. They go queen g7. Queen x g7, rook x g7, king x g7. And then go b6 at the end. Oh no, you could go knight d6. What am I talking about? Knight d6. I'm thinking they're on b6 already for some reason. Yeah, I think you can play here. And the king slides over, and you go here. Looking to go there. I'm still not seeing how that's checkmate though. Oh, you could go there to f1 at the end. Here. Oh, I thought I messed up for a second. Here they go down, but then you go over. Wow, quite the puzzle. But I think you just take that. That was pretty fun. Let's look at the analysis there. Am I finally going to make a move? I will say you do not have to watch, buddy. You don't have to if it's not enjoyable. But yeah, their queen is here on e5. We give that check and we slid over. I was trying to figure out how to move the knight. We can go here. That's what I was thinking at first, but this knight doesn't have any moves. I feel like my logic was not right. What's going on, Olivia? But yeah, I feel like my logic was not right with this. Why I decided not to move it. I was thinking that this knight has, or this knight has more squares to work with, and this one can only go here, so I moved this one. But now I realize because you get the open file, which is definitely more useful with queen here to f8. Let's see. Queen f8, knight fg3, it's queen f8. Oh, Starboy, I see you have that there. All right, let's see. I'm doing all right today, Olivia. How are you doing today? But yeah, we got that one. We're sitting at, what is this? 54. But they go up here to h5. You might just have to push, and then you are winning. Yeah. Because if you take, they take, you have to move first. Now they have to concede, and you go here. Which way do you take? It's that. This is a frustrating end. You have to do EX f6 or GX f6. Bro, that's crazy. What is the difference between the two? You can en passant there. So if you do it this way, oh yeah, it's definitely this way. Yeah, this way they push because you can still stop that. Wait, I say it's definitely this way, and it's the other way. All right, you have to do it this way. Why can you not do it this way? So you en passant e5. Oh, I get it. Because e4, you have to go all. It's yeah, it's a dead draw. The difference is if you do it here, push, take up, g6 up, g7. Yeah, I see the difference. I think, yeah, I also thought E for the same reason. What I missed is that you are stuck. If this d4 pawn's not here, I guess that's still a loss, though. Or a draw. Yeah, we stop at 54. We don't get to our record. But we got 2 straight 50s. That's not, those aren't bad attempts. 3, 2, 1. But yeah. PB is at 62. We have to restart again. We can take here on d8. That's checkmate. Take here, that's checkmate. Take here. Take. Alright, we have the first 5. We have the first 6. Boom, boom. And then mate here on f8. Who has the highest personal best that's watching? Type in your personal best. I'm curious what the highest is. We go bishop here to c4. That should be checkmate. They slide, take here on h7. Bishop slides in, check. Checkmate opposition. We have the first 12. I think you can go bishop here. Yeah, you control the diagonal completely. So bishop c4, take this, and that's a win. Here, here. Rook captures f8. Bishop g7, checkmate. Bishop check. You could give this check, and you're looking to win this here on f6. What other games besides chess interested in? I mean, I like pretty much any board game I would play. I would play any game for the most part. Any game, any competition I would do. Yeah, we can go here, then take that. Nothing wrong with 33, man. Nothing wrong at all. When did you start playing? We go here, and then we can take this, setting up checkmate. You take the queen. We're at 17 here. Capture, capture. Oh, it's you bring the rook over. I'm like, how do you win this? Yeah, you bring the rook. Next up, bishop takes checkmate. Queen f8, checkmate. Check, and you have mate in 3 here, checkmating on e7. We have the white pieces. Oh, I was like, how would you possibly win this game? It's because of king here to g8. If you take this, this is just a stalemate. Or a draw. But you could go here. And that is a win. Alright, rook drops back. Queen h6 mate. h4 checkmate. What's going on, Elias? I'll be back. I need to do... Alright. I'm glad you're enjoying enough to come back to the stream. So, glad to hear that. Less than a year ago? Okay. That's not bad at all for a year. Not bad at all. Do you do it a lot, or do you just do it occasionally? Yeah, we could take the knight here in the center. They capture, queen here, knight back. Alright, the rook slides over. We have the white pieces. We're 1 square away from promotion. I think you go here, check. You have to guard this. Now you deflect and get the queen. I want to look at something though. Oh, let's go here. I want to see something real quick though in that puzzle. If instead they go here, you go here, they go here. Oh, you still need to do rook xg2, take A and get the queen. Okay, that makes sense. I do have Discord, yes. What's up? And their rook is here. This is a mate in 3. And that's, you don't even have to find the rest of it. Because once you get that part, that's the easy part, to be honest. Here you want a queen, taking on h7, taking here, you take the queen here on f4. Playing Slate Chess every day. It's been a little over 80 days, I believe. My Discord, it's the same as my username if you take off the last numbers. But I could, yeah, it's nothing complex. Are you trying to get a certain rating or a title, or are you just doing it for fun? Now you could take here, and then checkmate here on d6. Alright, the queen slides up, queen down here to h1, checkmate. We have the first 30. The rook slides forward. I'm not sure the idea here. Push, they take. Take. I'm kind of confused on this. If you go g3 and they take on g3, what is there to do after that? You could win both rooks. Maybe that's it. I see how you can win both rooks in it. If you go up, take this. And then you could take this here. Not winning both, but you win a rook, right? Capturing this. If you take here, the queen takes. But taking here, that's all you have to do. Okay. I overcomplicated it. I thought you had to do more than that. We can go rook. This is an interesting game in its own right. If you took on b5, you are probably win. Their king is kind of close though. But they're also about to get a queen. I'm almost certain I'm not going to get this one right. It's too many moves for me here. I may get this incorrect. Made it to 1300. I want to get back to that level. I feel you. I feel you. Getting a new peak is definitely fun. I don't know if I need to take on b5, go h5, or go f4. Let's see, f4. Okay, let's try it. f4, rook a4, g5. The thing I'll say, I'm saying to take on b5, but that I could take at any point on the b file. So let's push. And then push. Now here's where the trouble is. How do you win the game from here? Maybe oh, wait. Here? And then rook over. And then g5. If they go up, I think you have to go to g5. No. What do you have to do? Instead, you have to... Is that not what I just did? That's what I just did. What? I swear I just did that. Did I not go to g5? That's what I... Did I not do that? Or did I not... Maybe I didn't go f2 first. Maybe that was the thing. In my mind, I was playing f2 first. I probably did this. And this is... Yeah. This is what I meant to do. And I played... Oh, well. I understand the puzzle. I had a momentary issue there. But they're here on g5. I did? Oh, I did it? Okay, I was gonna say, I swear I played there at g5. But it happens, I guess. I swear, like I was counting it. I feel better though. I feel like I know I get that one. Puzzle battle? We can do a puzzle battle after I finish this run. And then we can just take a puzzle battle break if anyone else wants to do it besides you. But yeah. That is what we'll do. But I'm gonna finish this one first. The queen is here on g5. Knight. Okay, go h6 attacking the queen. Can I drop? Yeah, you can drop yours. Is there something specific you're trying to do? Yeah, the queen is here on g5. We go h6 attacking the queen. And it looks like it's just trapped. Let's just go here. Yeah, it's almost trapped. So you could go up here. This is my... here's mine. A game. So I'm not doing any games today. The way I have my stream set up is yesterday I had viewer tournaments the entire time. And then today puzzles. And then tomorrow I have rated games online the entire time. So every 2 out of 3 streams I'm playing games. But this one is just puzzles. I appreciate the likes there from Chris. I think, did I see? Yes, from Chris. Thank you for those likes. Closing in on 5.6 thousand. Yeah, the move here. Is it here or here? Because the queen has an escape square. Oh, you could go here, back, and then here. And now they don't even want to play that, so you just take this. But yeah, what I was looking at instead was the idea of... Yes, f5, yeah. If they go back, you have knight g4. Gorgeous idea. Gorgeous idea. All right, let's go to this next one. We are sitting at 32 correct. Pawn g2. If pawn up, he can sack the knight. Wait. If pawn up... Yes, here. Yeah. If you go here. And then this is not good at all. Alright, let's go to this next one. I would have played that in a bullet game. I'm glad I took some time to think that one through. I believe rook a1's all you have to find to go rook here to a5. Alright. The knight takes on f1. Check over queen down. What if they go knight here, though? That'd be interesting. Okay. Check over queen here. Setting up mate. But then they go knight c5. That looks like it saves it. Check over down knight c5. Oh, then you could go queen to f6. Okay. All right, that was the next one. All right, maybe I could show that real quick. That one was kind of fast. And then Chris, appreciate those likes. Let's see. Yeah. What I was looking at is, well, how do you win this? Because you can't go here, right? Because of this. What you have to do is just a slight move back. The king can't move. Now the queen has to slide over. And you checkmate there. Or that way. But that one's a cooler checkmate. Alright, we're sitting at 34 correct. The rook slides over. I believe it's just knight here. Take and then checkmate. And that's mate. We're at 35. The queen's here on c7. I do love the sacrifice plays. They're very fun in the game and for the puzzles as well. It's just a very fun thing, satisfying thing to do. But here we have queen sliding to c5 probably is the move. So qc5, they slide their king up, and then you can go rook d4. And I don't see how you would not win on the spot there. Oh, wait. Here if they go up. I still think that's it. I'm going to go here. And then you can take. Knight takes, queen takes up. Check down. I think there's still a way to get through this. Alright, now we can go bishop here. Here. And then rook up. Yeah. Because here, queen takes. So bishop here. And then rook here. And you take that. Alright, they take here on a6. So you know there's got to be some type of mate idea. Something. I think it's rook g8. Because rook g8 check. Bishop forces back. Take, check, take. That's checkmate. Mate there on g3. Alright, they take here in the center. Not the center. They take the knight on c6. That's not the center. You could go here. They go up. And then you go here. Removing a defender. And you win the queen on d1. We're at 38 right now. They take on h2. Is there any fork? Appreciate. Yo, the new sub. Appreciate that. Why not? And much appreciated, bro. Man. They won the game? Bro, why did they win the game? Why did they win, bro? I don't know. But, bro, since you've been a sub, we have a lot of new emotes. Check out the new emotes. Let me know which ones you like there. But, yeah, they go up here to h2. We can take on f6. King takes. That's probably not it. Knight g4. Knight g4, the queen slides over. That's probably not it. Take here. We're attacking the queen if we go here. There. Oh, wait. Here. And you win it here on e1. And then you can... How do you win the... Do you just go over? That could be it if you just go queen h1. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Alright, 39. They go back here to f1. Where can we go? We can take the knight. Or what? So we take the knight. Oh, but no, our queen's hanging. Hold on. Let me reset. No, that's not it. You can't take the knight. Your queen will fall. What can we do instead? Taking here, they just take with check. And that's probably not going to be it. But I don't know what you could possibly... Like, what could you do in this position? You go here. So, right, if we do material count, we're equal. Like, we both have... I'm up a pawn, actually. Black is up. So I could just figure out a way to not lose anything and keep the same position, and you're better. So queen d4 is what comes to mind. So there's no discovered attack, and my queen's not hanging. But then they have queen here check. And then over. Maybe that's not that bad. But I really don't see this one. I just want to go back. They take the rook. And then you can give this check. You give a check here. They go here. You take, that's checkmate. You give a check here. They go here. Check over. And then check. I think so. And then check here. And there we go. Alright, let's go through that one. That one was a lot of tactics there. Yeah, we go in. They take the rook, but you have this super aggressive scenario. If they go here, there's a mate in one. And then take the pawn. So if you take the pawn here. The issue is it's the same idea, but this way the knight takes queen. But I see what you're thinking, though. You're trying to get on the diagonal as well. That's why I think it's just queen e3 versus here. But if this was a free spot, I think you could also play that. As well, this next one, we're sitting at 40. We have 40 for 41. Not the worst thing. Not the best thing. Because we could be 41 for 41. When you give this check, they slide over. Check over. Is there any way to win both rooks? Because you go here, they slide, you take this, they just take back. And there's no fork idea with the rook and the king there. The best we could get, if I could get, I need a piece here and here, and I can't manufacture that too easily. We slide rook over, 14th pick to 18th. No way. For a game that didn't even matter. That's insane, bro. Why did we win the game? I don't know what they're thinking. They're supposed to tank. Are they playing right now? And then, bro, you gotta check out the emotes. Check out the emotes. Because it just popped up that you subbed. So you gotta see the new stuff. Yeah, you go here. King slides over. Oh, I see it. And then you go here, here, and then that's checkmate. It's not winning the rook. It's because you go knight in here. And if they go up here, that's also checkmate. No, not those. Those are the ones you get for follow. It's some different ones. I don't know what it's under. Browns did the same thing. Bro, you feel me, bro. The Lions, all they have to do is lose to get 4 higher spots. You can fix the O-line, man. And we decided to win when it doesn't matter. And we lost every important game. Don't know what they were thinking there, man. But yeah, at least you guys got to 5 wins. You got to 5 wins. The Ricks, and you got the sack record, too. Bro, you are not finding the emotes, I'm not going to lie. I don't know where it's at, but there's like 15 sub emotes. You just got to keep scrolling. It should say PJ's Chess something. And you'll know when you see them because they'll look different. Yeah, the rook is here on h7. I think you can check, up, check, down, and then checkmate. Never going to win. They're not ever going to win. They just aren't. I already know they're not. Here, here, mate. Alright, those next one. They go up here to h5. We could go... If we go king up, check here, that could work. That should work. I don't see how that wouldn't work, though. But yeah, king f5. They go to g6. So you have 2 options here, or 3 options here, here, or here. I would say it's not here because the rook slides over, so it's either king f5 or king h4. Here, check, up. Yeah, I think it's here. It looks weird because you're going the furthest in, but once you get here, you're completely safe. Once you get here to f5. After that, is it knight here to c3? Because you don't have to move it. Oh, wait, hold on. You're running into a mate. Oh, you just have to go. No, if you go up, the rook takes. If you go knight here, they go king forward. Setting up checkmate. So how do you... Attack, they take. And that's also checkmate. So that's not it. It has to be something. They can go up. I need to... Oh, could you go c5? c5. So you could go here if they push their king up. That's way too much, though. I'm not going to lie. You could just sack a minor piece. So you go here. They go up. You go here. They take. But you still can't stop this. That's still... I'm going to get this one wrong, probably. No, it's not c5. What is it? Instead, it's... I swear I saw that. I did not see how it worked, though. I mean, obviously I saw it. It's a free pawn. I did not see how that worked. You go there. How did I not see that, actually? That's... How did I not see how it worked? Here, here. Why did I not see that? Yeah, that's not that complex. Let's go to this next one. Sitting at 42. Let's go. Try and get to... What is this? 43. Here, here. No. Knight F3 check. And appreciate the likes I'm seeing somewhere. Sealed off his... He had a bad game. And man, did you... Oh, it was a close game. Okay, okay. I mean, his contract, they can't even get rid of him. And then, man, did you find the... Or see the things yet? Because there are some... I want to know what you think of them. But yeah, their queen is here on g4. We can go knight back here to f5. Looking to attack on e3. We could go up here as well. And this way you actually would win a piece. Because here they slide over. Like here, over. Let's see. And then up, because if they take, that's checkmate. Yeah. And there's a checkmate. That's a cool puzzle. I'll show that real quick. If it really bothers you. No, it does not really bother me. I'm just joking. Don't feel bad, bro. I'm just trolling. You could say it. It's not a problem. I just think it's funny. Like, I'm not that old, but it's because I'm not that old, it's funny. Maybe if I were, I don't know, even if I was old, I think it'd be fun. Because then it'd honestly be the right thing to call me. So no, it's not a problem. But yeah, we took here on f6 because there was a fork. But the idea is that if they move the knight, there's this checkmate here on g2. Alright, let's go to this next one. Sitting at 43. Queen takes, I think, is the move. Queen takes on g6. They take here. Here. Oh, I don't see how that's mate, though. That's got it. Unk squared is great. I like that you know that math concept, though, so at least you're paying attention in class. But we can take on g6. They take the knight. Queen h7. King f7. I don't see how you could win after that. That's the issue there. So what could we do instead? Rook takes. No, because then here, the queen slides over. So queen must have to take. And after this, oh, it's bishop takes here. There we go. So here, here. I think you do take this. That's what I'm missing. That's what I'm missing. Is we need the bishop to get active. So if you capture here attacking the queen, they go over. Wait, what is the difference? It is a difference because you have one more piece in the game. But where is it going to pop up? Because if you check here, check. Yeah, I think you have to take this. And now the queen slides back. Now you have this check. They slide. Check. I don't get how this isn't just a draw. That's why ours is not just a draw. What am I missing? Here. Oh, it is just a draw. Okay. There's nothing more to do there. It's repetition. Pula got them chess. I don't know if you can sack the rook quite here. Because if you take this... Oh, wait. If you take this, I want it to. But once you do this, they have queen g7. But I would have... That would have been very fun to do. But yeah, this is winning. Wait, no, this is not a draw. How is this not a draw? They slide here. Rook h3. Oh, you just reload. Okay, well that makes sense. Luckily, man, I would have found it if I knew it was another move, but we had enough there to win. Get that one. But the rook slides over. And then take here. All right, material count, we're up a minor piece. If we can maintain this advantage or grow it, we've done our job. Really, I don't see why you couldn't do this. Oh no, you have a bishop and a rook for a queen. Can you just move the king out the way? I mean, that seems pretty basic, but could you just do that? Like, I don't see how you would not be able to. They could go knight down. That's... But then you would take there. I think you can just go over. Yeah. And then you take this here. And you take this here. Alright, the knight takes here in the center. Let's see what we can do next. We go queen to d4. That won't work. So I'm not going to play that. We could go here. That could work. You have a pin. They go up. And then... No, that still doesn't... What am I doing? That still does not work. And then here there's a family fork. So here, here, here. Maybe here first. Queen to d4. Because you're attacking the knight. That's the weakness, their knight. So how do I win the knight? Because this doesn't win the knight. Like, if you go here... Oh, they could really just go knight d3. And then there's nothing. Because you slide over. Trying not to lose your rook. And now they can guard that. So no, it can't be queen d4. So not queen d4. If we go bishop d4. Attack. Attack. But they could just move this. I guess at that point, why not just take here first? Take here. Over. That's not the puzzle, though. Like, that's... It's definitely this. This is not a strong piece. It has a rook attacking it and a queen defending it. So if we could attack it again, we could go bishop g3, or we could go f4. So bishop g3, they go f6. Up here, they just move. That's the problem. Every attack, they have enough time to get out the way. Oh. Okay. I think that kind of just gave me an idea. Because they have enough time to get out the way, this is just too slow, right? If you go bishop g3, right, they can react. If you go here, they can react. But if you take the knight first, right, they can only take back, and then you could go here on a long diagonal. That seems kind of... How did it take me that long? That's not that complicated. Take here, here, here. They can't go down. Alright, took me a minute, but we got it. Their knight is here on e3. Oh, I wonder, can you actually sack the queen? Take, bishop takes, over, check. That's not quite checkmate. Almost, though. That's almost checkmate. Let's see. Rook sack and scare the queen and rook. Yes, okay. This would have just had that one. Let's see, g3. Let's see. Rook sack. It was. Yeah, there was a free pawn there. I think it was too slow. We could see. We could look at it real quick, though. I think if you take on b6, it's just... Yeah, you're actually losing after knight c4. Huh, I didn't see knight c4. I just didn't play it because I thought just winning a pawn's not enough. But you don't even win the pawn there, which is the funny thing about that. But yeah, their knight is here on e3. We could... It's either here or here. Taking here is too slow. And it wouldn't even work after the king takes. Well, hold on. Here. Yeah, here, take, over, over. Here, bishop f1. So it's some type of sacrifice. If you sack the queen, even if you sack the queen, it's not... They could just slide over. Let's say sack, they take... Oh, you can't take... Yeah, never mind. You can't take that. They take with the queen. So it's this then. But why is it this? If you take, the queen takes. No, I just don't see this one here. if you go here first, I really want to sack the queen, but I know this is not the right move because this is still guarded. You take this first, the queen takes. Or is it, did I take this out too soon? Rook x g2. Okay, they have to take. Queen h8, queen captures h3. They have to go over. No, I think it is that. Yeah. And then you can go rook g8 now. Well, the only problem is if you go rook g8, they could just block this way. So it has to be more direct in order for this to work. So you could go here. But they go there. You go here. But once the queen gets in, I think it definitely doesn't work. Knight slides over. Material count, we're down a rook completely. So we have to get mate, I'll say. We have to get mate. Take, check, down, check out the way. They escape in that line. They cannot escape. That's not an option. Here, take, back. Wait, no. Oh, I think I see it. Take. They could still go down though. In every line I'm saying that how can the king not get in the center? But you can't take with the bishop. If you take here, they take here. They go back. Check, they go up. Well, I'm guessing you can allow king up and you win something because there's no way to stop them from getting here and here. It's not possible. Capture, capture. No, I stopped there. Let's see. What is the way to take it? It is the rook. So why does this work? Take here. King f1. Queen h3. Oh, you can just take it because you have the bishop and queen there combining on f3. Alright, that was the shortest run we've had this stream. We're going to start again. That is a pretty fun one. We got the rook sack, but we did not get the second rook sack. You had to sacrifice 2 rooks there. Alright, let's go to this next one here. Rook down, mate in 1. Mate in 1. Mate in 1. Mate in 1. Yeah, the first few are always, as you see, 400 level puzzle. Just a little easier than the ones we were just doing. Checkmate here. Checkmate. I say that and I may get one wrong to start it off. Where do you go? They go up here. Knight takes. That's all I see. And you take that there. Usually it's more winning than that. There's a check. So all you have to play that time around. Rook slides down. King slides up. Okay, this is actually not that easy. You can go here. They can go here, check. Here, check. And then here, up. Here, check. Check, up. Check. But then they could take that. This should not be this hard. It's this. And now they slide out the way. And now it's rook up. They take. Okay. We struggled with 11, but we get 12. We still got it though. Checkmate here. We have the first 13. Take with rook, then you screw with queen. Don't you have to take with the bishop? You had to take. If you mean the last one I got wrong, I think it was with the rook, right? I think rook had to take. I took with the bishop. And the issue with that is they could go king f1. And what I was missing was that king f1 was not the problem. It was what to do after king f1, and I was looking at trying to stop king f1. I was too slow to realize the idea behind it. Alright, you take here, winning the queen. Here, they didn't even make you solve that much. Here, and you take on h2. We had the first 18. I believe you can take this, and then you can take the rook. And now you have checkmate on g2. Alright, we're starting off, what is this? 19 for 19. You can take this here. Take. No, that's not what I meant to do. I had a mouse slip. The idea, I gotta restart. The idea was simply to not do that. You're gonna take the pawn there. I did see that. Unfortunately, we have a little bit of a mouse slip, and we're just gonna restart because getting one wrong in the first 20 makes it extremely difficult for the rest of the time. All right, 3, 4. It shouldn't take me too long to get back up. Capture, capture. And take with the queen. I don't know if it's... I think if you take with the queen or the bishop, when the king slides, the queen at the end is hanging. I think that's why it works there. You'll be able to win that at the end. On this one, I think queen g4. Because the king probably does get away. That's why I was also struggling with it. But the king can get away. It's just about the material you win before the king escapes. Alright, we have the first... Alright, check now. We have the first 8, the first 9, the first 10. Alright, check, sack. The first 11 here. No misclicks, no misclicks. Take up. They can't stop that, and you're up some material. Alright, rook's going to slide down here to d2. Check. Check. And then checkmate. And this is still a mate pattern there. You can go knight up to win the rook here on e1. So knight check, discover. Win this, and you take the bishop as well. Alright, we see the rook is here on d2. We can have bishop capture. That's actually just checkmate. There's nothing more to do outside of just taking that. The king's going to slide over. We can bring our queen to h4, attacking on the diagonal. And you have mate there at the end. Take with check. Check, check, checkmate with the ladder mate there. They take there on h4. The queen takes. Then bishop takes. And you take the rook here in the corner. Alright, the knight slides in the center. We need to get a mate idea. So taking with the queen right here feels like the best way to do that. Queen captures f5. We're looking to set this up. And they don't have a check on us. And bishop takes is kind of slow. So here, oh my gosh. Alright, I'm going to have to keep going. I'm not going to restart again. Here, what I missed though, you're supposed to instead do what? Oh, just slide over immediately to g3. Missed that maneuver. Alright, the king is in the corner. Take, bishop check, rook, queen down. That's it. You can't go here because the rook guards that. You could go here, down, here, up, here, over. Alright, the king is going to slide. We can take on a5. And then we can take. And then take. Alright, the rook's going to slide down. We have this bishop check idea to try and force the king. Well, that's the thing. Here, the king slides up. Here, the king slides over. But you could still go down if they slide over. Yeah, so here first. And then rook down. And you take this for checkmate. Alright. How do you not get bored from puzzles? I would say I really just enjoy chess. Like this is fun for me, honestly. Trying to get my personal best. So yeah, I'm not bored at all. I am excited to try and break my record. And it's fun to calculate through. Like some of them are fun. Like the last one I got wrong for the, what was it, like 46 or something? That one was a fun one to calculate even though I got it incorrect. But they're on b2. We can go queen c8. They could go king g7. check, up, check, up. Yeah, okay. Wait, check, up, check. So here, here, h6 check. If they take, check, up, checkmate. Alright, so this next one, we can go capture. That's all you have to do, I think. I think so. Yeah, so this next one, the rook slides over. This is basically opposition. As the pawns guard all three squares here. My rating, do you mean over the board or online? And do you mean, and if you mean online, what time control? That's checkmate. To improve, yeah, I would say they're definitely helpful. Playing games is still the best thing, but they're definitely helpful to improve. And I do them when I'm trying to get better. I think it helps with my calculation ability, but it's probably some more studying that I don't know how to do that's more beneficial than even that. But we can go down here, get the queen, and get this checkmate here on c5. All right, the bishop slides here to f6. You can take this, yeah. Pawn slides forward, knight here, sack, queen up, rook over. You can give this check, they slide. Oh, it's not checkmate. You just won the rook. I was like, I don't see a mate, but there's not a mate. So that's why I don't see it. Doesn't over the board. My over the board is 1939 USCF. I don't have a FIDE. Oh, it's this way. And then take. Or I have a FIDE. It's preliminary. I think it's 1600 something. But I only played 3 rated FIDE games. I don't even know. Let me see if I can find that. It's a good question. Let's see if I have a FIDE. Let's see. FIDE. I don't think I have a FIDE though. Because I only have 3 rated games. I don't think they give you a rating by that. Let's see. I don't have one now. Yeah, I just have 3 rated games. It doesn't give me anything from it. It doesn't give me an estimated either. You'll see if they give you an estimated ELO, but I can't see one for me. Standard, yeah. Unfortunate, but I'll have some more FIDE soon, hopefully, and I can have that, and I can be able to share it. Let's go back here. Their knight is here in the center. This is a free knight I'm looking at. You take the knight, they go up. Oh no, that's not it. No, they can just go up here. Here, that's checkmate. And the rook slides over. What? Am I just not on right now? I'm very confused. How is this not 10 to 15? Oh yeah, I'm not even not even close. Because I've only played in that one. And it was a 5-round tournament, but only 3 of the games were FIDE rated. Yeah, rook e8. They take. I really don't see this. And I know it's not that complicated, but I'm not seeing it. Somehow you have to keep the queen here and trap it, right? Because they can take on h7. We have pieces colliding on f2, but their rook guards it. Rook e8 sets that up. So it seems like the most natural move, but they can take here. Right, they can take on h7. If you go back, they take, you take. And then they could just go back. So here, rook over. Here, rook over, take. I really don't get this. I might lose early on this one. What are options? I gotta think through the options. What are options? We could go queen e5. When I see this, I'll be like, how did I not find it? That is it. Okay, rook e8. And I think it's here because here you have king g8. And you win the queen. Okay. It took me a second, but we got it. We got it. So they have their pawn 4. This is a cool one. You're going to sack your bishop on g4 after they go here after this. So here, you're going to sack on g4, and now you go up. And how did I find that one quicker? That one's definitely harder, but we get it correct. Let's see. You could take on g4. They take, or rook here, but they take that with check. Taking here. And then YTT, appreciate the likes there on TikTok. Much appreciated. Let's see though. Take here, they... No. So I think it is rook f5. You're attacking the queen. Yeah. Because you're attacking on f2 at the end of that. Their king's going to slide forward. It has this backwards diagonal escape. So I'm thinking queen takes here. Limiting every light square retreat. They could go up. And then we have rook over. So we're going to take. Yeah. And the mate, I believe, is something to do with rook d1 after that. Capture if they go up. Or here, you could go here. Or here. And that's checkmate. Alright, let's go to this next one. We're sitting at 38 for 39. And we got the 20th puzzle wrong. We got harder puzzles correct. Oh well, we're here now. They have their queen there. We could go queen to b8. So qb8. And then whatever. Oh no. So here, is the knight just trapped? I think it is actually. If you just go h6, the knight is trapped. They can't go back, can't go there. Yeah. Bro, what do you have to do instead? So what's the difference? What's the difference? Here. Oh, that's yeah. That's quite the mistake. Because the rook, I missed the rook is hanging after that takes. Alright, the rook slides down. Check up. Check. I don't know if you want to give up that much material though. I think this check, yeah, and then here, and now you take it. The other way you lost too much. The rook slides here to e2. Let's see. You can take this here. That's probably not it. Instead, we could go queen down. Looking to attack that, looking there. But that's another one I'm not too confident in. Because queen f3, what if they go queen c2? Then we run into an issue, a dilemma. The knight can't slide up, though. The knight can't go here either. I don't see that working. There's got to be some way to finish this out. So queen f3, we're looking to attack. If we go here, they could also go rook over, and there's really nothing after they move rook there to g2. There's nothing that could be done. We could go queen down, but then they could go down themselves. Taking. I want to take, but there's just nothing to do after you take it. Is there anything that... Can I attack this and threaten mate? No, what's the correct answer? That's a short run. Oh, it's all the way down. Oh my gosh, yes. I had the right idea. I'm looking at h1, but the wrong way about it. Like, I'm trying to do it this way, which you can't do, right? But if you go here first, I was confused why can I not do that? Maybe it's here? Yeah, okay. So that's what we missed on that one. A short run, but we have some more unlimited chances. We can do as much as we want to do it. QF1 rook d1. Yes, you were cooking there. It was QF1 rook d1. Alright, win this knight here in the center. Take this, checkmate. This is a free queen. I almost missed that. Almost missed that. But because of this check, I wouldn't have, I guess. Rook slides here, checkmate. You have the first 6. You have the first 7. We have the first 8, I believe. There we go. Rook slides over. We have 9 now. Rook slides down. We have 10. Checkmate 11. Checkmate 12. And you'll be up a 9 in that endgame. So that's why it's a win. Going here is a double check checkmate. So it doesn't matter that one of the pieces is hanging. This is here. If you could get here, you could win the queen. But you can't do that. So there's some mate here. And then rook down at the end. Here, that's going to be mate. You take here. They can only go over. How do you win that game, though? Oh, you can take the rook in the corner. And you take the queen, and that's going to be mate. Bishop slides back. You can attack the bishop, then attack the bishop and knight together. That's actually from the London system. That's happened to me before. The same thing has been done to me that I just did in the puzzle there. Here, the knight could take, and then queen to, I want to show that. But if knight takes, you had queen f7 check, right? Here, if here, you don't take, right? You go here, checkmate. All right, go to the next one. Can we get to 20 for 20? Not even a guarantee at this point. I cannot say it is. But here, take check. If you do the other way, you'll lose the rook, so you have to do it that specific way. Queen down, checkmate. All right, we have the white pieces. And you want to promote on the square they promote on. That's why you can do that. All right, their bishop moves. Queen in. They take king over. And you would have to take. And you could take that because of the pin. All right, they go up here to d7. This is a confusing one because you know there's a mate. You have 3 pieces working in tandem. But it has to be check, right? So take first. Take up. No. That doesn't work. No, that doesn't work. Capture, here, capture, up. If you go here, they could take the rook. But if you take, they get a queen. No, you have to take the rook. I just don't see how you get the win, though. Maybe you just do this and you win the pawn back? Yeah, you just win the pawn. You don't have to get a checkmate there. I overcomplicated that one. We could go knight. Yeah, because if you take here, queen takes. So you go knight here, check. And then you would have taken that, and you take here. All right, at 25, the bishop is here on g3, threatening all types of things here. So I have to respond. I believe the move is here. Oh, this is a cool mate. This is just... No, that's just the mate, actually. Yeah, they can't move anywhere else. This is going to be mate here. We're at 27. Rook down. You can't go here because the rook is here on this file guarding, and you would lose something, so you can't play that. Rook check instead. If they go down... Okay, rook check. Anywhere with the king, I don't see how you would continue. Rook d6 feels like the best move. But then the king could get away to h6. So here, up. There's got to be some way to do this. On 28, we're struggling a little bit on it, but we should be able to get it. We could go queen e6, setting up this, but that's too slow because you go here, they check, you go up. There's so many options here with the white pieces. We could go down, check, back, rook check. It is rook check. I didn't think it was rook check because if they go there, Oh, I'm just missing. You could just go there. Yeah, you're right. And they go this way. Now you do see it. Yeah, this part I saw this way. What I was missing, and you guys are correct. I didn't see that if they go back. So here, I miss you could just take this. Somehow, I did not see that's checkmate. But yeah, that's going to be a mate. They can't stop it. All right, go to this next one. The queen is here on g6. Check. Check. Checkmate. All right, at 29. We can now take over. That doesn't necessarily work. If you get the queen, that also doesn't work. So capture over. Or you take this in the corner, and then you come down here, check. Then you take this in the corner. You're going to get the queen at the end. Checkmate there. Alright, the queen's here, check. How do we get out the way of this and still survive the position? It feels like only king g8 works. If you go up, you're too limited in what you could do. So we're going to go king back. And then bishop f8. And then we can take this and then take this. All right, we're at 32. The rook slides here to b6. The rook can just go down, and that should be checkmate. Yes, because the bishops act as a king almost. And then rook here, check. Rook takes on e1. So if you take here first, they just take. If you take here first, take. So you have to do rook takes. And then you take here of check, and then you take on h5. And you'd be up a queen. Alright, we're at 34. A decent start. We could take there on g4. Man, I've been talking for like 3 hours, my bad. But you take on g4, king takes. You have h5, king back, and then king f5. And then, Haiti, appreciate those likes there. But here, and then here, and then up, and then here, and then take. This is a long end game, man. You have to find a lot of moves there. Let's go to this next one. We did get it correct, and we are sitting at now, what is this? Sitting at 35 for 35. And then Haiti again, appreciate these likes for closing in on 6.5 thousand. So now we can do is we can set up bishop h6 check. Here we have the check, the king slides over, and then queen down, knight here, queen takes. Well, you don't have to do all that, but that's why they just stop it, because that's all you have to find. Bishop here. Rook up, king down. Oh no, it's rook up. Rook up, they go here. You take check, they take, and you take the rook. Yeah. Remove the defender. We're at 37. Take, rook down, checkmate. The knight guards the escape square. Alright. They took here on g3. If you go in, they go back. How do we get a mate? So queen d5 is definitely my first idea. They always do that in the puzzle end games. You have move like any. Yeah, I know. It was a lot of moves there. It's like, man, you would feel like it's winning, but I was able to hold on. I guess it was only one move all that whole time too, because if you don't do that stuff, I guess you would lose. So fair enough. If you take here, they go back. So here, take. Oh, you could go rook down maybe. So rook slides down. Yeah. And then here, yep, we're at 39. They slide over and take on e8. We can have queen takes f7 and then queen h5. Alright, at 40. The rook slides over. Rook down is almost mate. This is mate, though. Here, here, here. Alright, the knight slides here to c4. If we take this, we have this idea. I think it's similar to the puzzle I got wrong a couple times. I had the same type of puzzle wrong a few times. Is that I was too quick to play the move that wins material. But this one, I think you have to take the rook first, so that going here, they don't just win that. So you take the rook, they take back, and then you push up. Right? So capture, and then you have this move. Now, I'm pretty sure the other way you can't win as much, or you can't win it. Let's show that real quick. If instead you push first, they have just taking in a rook x d7, and then rook x, and then they can take, I don't know. They can't take here. No, you can, yeah, it's rook here first. But yeah, the same thing though, you just have to take some material before you can do that. And we're sitting at 42. Alright, the queen is here on e1. You could go here and force here, here, here. I can slow down. My bad, Swifty. I can slow down. I don't want to make it where you can't even see the puzzle I'm doing. That's on me. But yeah, they're here on e1. My thought is queen g3. Take this. Oh, wait, no. You can just take the queen. Take the queen. Okay, take the queen. If they take this, you would then check. And then take, yeah. And you can't do this because they get the queen, but you have this check first. And now you take this, and now you take this. Alright, at 43. They take here on b4. So, they take on b4. How do we solve this one? We see we have a rook, and a queen. So how do we use these to form a checkmating pattern? The first thing, rook takes on g2, king takes, rook g8, king over, queen g3, king h1, qh h3, rook h2, qxf, checkmate. That's exactly how it happened too. Alright, that's pretty cool. It's not always that, it doesn't happen all the time where it's exactly how you envision it, but that time it was. But they do knight captures h6. I feel like king g7 has to be played, because otherwise, I think you're just losing. If you go king h7 with the knight being pinned, then you're not threatening anything, and then they could get their rook in. Oh, actually, you have to go h7. Because if you go king g7, they could go knight f5, saving the knight. So now you do have to do this, actually. I was incorrect previously. And you go here, you attack the rook, and now you take the rook. Alright, we're at 45. Their queen's on c7. Where can we go now? Alright, the knight can go to b5, attacking the queen. That's a quick tempo. I don't think that's what the move is, though, but that is a tempo. Hold on, let's see. This. Alright. But yeah, knight to b5. We attack the queen. Slide over. But maybe not sound. Because after here, where would you play? Right? We could go rook b1, but then this is free. That's why I still think it's this. My first instinct is here. I think it is here. I feel you. Like, sometimes I can find some of the moves, but you have to find every single move to get the win. That's what makes them challenging, but fun at the same time. But yeah, you could take on h6, maybe. Oh, we're down a piece, actually. So we're down a piece. We can't just trade. So you go up. They slide over. Hmm. Okay, they take that. That's not what I was expecting when they did that. I'm clearly missing something, so I'd love to see it after. But if you take here, bishop takes attacking. That doesn't feel right to allow that to happen. So let's take this. No, it is the other way. Alright, honestly, that feels fair, because I did not play this for the right move, clearly. Why are they doing that? What if they just go over? Oh, then you just go c6. Okay, yeah, c6 I missed. Do this next one. Queen take was better. Alright, the king is up. We have h6 check. But then they take this pawn here. You could check here. Take queen up. Back. Checkmate. And then checkmate here. Alright, at 46. The queen is here on f7. We can go queen here to g4, looking to go down here to d1, getting that lateral check. Or we could... Man, which one? Queen g4, attack king, attack on d1. Boom, over, boom. Or we could do... What? Boom, boom. Oh, they go up, and then you go h. Yeah, I see it. Yeah, they have to sack, because otherwise I would have lost the game. I think it's still a loss, though. You could still play this. Check, up, check. They have to take and then checkmate. And that's made on f1. Alright, the king's going to slide over. You see there's almost a mate threat by going e5. But almost is not going to cut it. If you go up, they go rook over. So you know you have to find this... Or it has to be a quick attack. I think it's knight to c6. Because knight to c6, if they go queen back, you could go knight to a6, forcing them to lose their queen. Yes. And they have to take that because it's checkmate otherwise. Alright, their queen is back here on g6. What can we do for this one? The knight can slide up here attacking, but they can slide up here. We can go g4. No, g4 wouldn't work. g4 would not work. Man, I'm not sure. Knight f4 attacking the queen. Oh no, it's trapped if you do this. You go here, the queen can't move. Up, they can go over, 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 over. Yeah. Let's go here. They give a check. So we're going to attack the bishop. Well, if you attack the bishop this way, what can you just go up, honestly? Because going here, they can slide over. And then that's hanging. Can you just go king e2? Yeah, now you take the queen there. Alright, they push up here to f5. King e3. King f4, up, check, take, up. No, no, we got that one incorrect. I instead need to do what? Just one more move. I'm one move. I push up. Oh, king f6. And they get opposition. I do win the pawn, and that was what I saw, but you don't get more. Alright, the knight is here on d6. And this might be the last one, as I am more tired than I anticipated. So, let's have like 2300. I do on Lee Chess. I don't play on chess.com. My Lee Chess is actually 23.99 on the dot. I only do puzzles on chess.com when I'm streaming. So yeah, my puzzle rating here is probably not the most accurate, to be honest with you. But the other one, it is more, almost 2400 there. I hit it and I lost it. And I went all the way down to almost 2100, and then I climbed back on a very cool streak. We can take here on f2. If the king slides in the corner, I just don't know how I could possibly do this one. I think you take. And they slide up. Okay. What is the follow through? It must be bishop here. Yeah, and you take here. Alright. The reason there's bishop there, I'll show that real quick, is because if they... Wherever they go, it's mate. If they go here, this is mate. If they go here, this is mate. And if you go here, they can block or get out the way. Yeah, out the way. And now you can't go rook h2. Alright, so we're at 50. 50 and 3 runs. I mean, that's not an unsuccessful day. Not the record, but that's a... If I can get that as a baseline, I can live with not... I can live with that. But yeah, we go up here attacking 2 things at once. Maybe check first. Yeah. Check first, over, and then up. Attacking that. Because here, now, knight up, here. But if you're fast enough, and then you go up, and now you can take this. Which way do you take, though? The bishop or the queen? It does matter. Clearly it does matter. So I have to find the right one. I think queen, yes. And we're at 51. The queen slides here to g5. Where can we go? The knight can't slide in because the queen was just on that square. So you know it's not going to work. The knight can't slide there. My pieces aren't exactly in the best spot to deliver a checkmate, I would say. They're a little out of sync. Knight takes on b7, no. Queen over, they go up. Queen all the way over. There's nothing. You could go up, but then they take. So can I get an initiative with the knight and then go up here to f5? That feels like wishful thinking there. What if we go here, they take, and then I take? No, it's not f4. What was it instead? You have to find... Dude, I almost played that, and I second guessed myself. No, I didn't see this, but that was part of... I was like, well, can you do that? But no, I did not find that one. I ended at 52, I think. 51. So, that'll be it for today's stream. A shorter one, but I am tired. So I don't want to give you guys bad content. I don't have as much energy as I thought. So we're going to end a little bit early. I'll be on tomorrow, though, for some rated play. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. If you want to support me, I'm PJ's Chess on Instagram, on YouTube, and on TikTok, and PJ's Chess 993 on Twitch. So I'll catch you guys later on TikTok first. And then if you're watching on YouTube and Twitch, thank you guys.